So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna see, what if Naruto celebrated Christmas with Kurenai as a couple, or we should say, what if Naruto and Kurenai were a secret couple? Along the way he remembered how it all came to be. But before we start, don't forget to destroy the like and subscribe button, and for the next part, do check out the description box, and also check out my playlist. Now let's start the story. It was 6 months after the war had ended. Naruto was promoted to the rank of Jounin after the final battle. He finally got the respect he deserved. As a result of his promotion he had a mission in the morning. Sakura stopped him before he left, she said. "Naruto, I am glad to see you smiling again. You need to do it more." Naruto said. "Before today I had no reason to smile. I doubt I will anytime soon." Sakura said. "Naruto, I know you are still hurting with what that stupid girl did to you. I am not going to try and get you to get over it. I know that I will fail. All I ask is look for another woman. There are a lot of women that fit what you want in a wife." She took a pause and said. "I know what your real dream is. You can't give up on that." Naruto said. "I want to thank you." He took a pause before saying. "All of you." The others had all come out of the shadows. Naruto said. "I know you are right, Sakura, but I am not sure I will find love. Maybe I can adopt a child if the void in my heart becomes too great. Good night everyone." Naruto with a flash of light was gone. All his friends vowed to help him find a wife. Little did the others know, but one other also made that vow. This one was a powerful being that caused many problems for Naruto. However, he was going to make it all up to Naruto. This being had a mission, and to complete it, he had to go and speak with Kami. He left to do just that. Kurama thought to himself after the battle was over that if he had a son, he would want his son to be like Naruto. He had given Naruto a few gifts after the final battle. He remembered the look of shock on the blonde's face. Kurama gave Naruto those gifts to make up for all the stuff Naruto had to go through because of him. The other reason was Kurama had seen many humans, and very few had hearts as pure as Naruto. Allowing Naruto to die would be a great disservice to the world. Kurama had stayed around for a few days to make sure Naruto was able to talk to Hinata. He had heard every word that girl said to Naruto as a monster, and due to him her brother was killed in battles. And it made him mad. Actually, it was the first time he felt true rage in many years. Being controlled did not count. Kurama wanted to kill the wide-eyed one, but he held off. He had bigger fish to fry. Kurama knew that there were other mates out there for his former host. He just had to find her and get Kami to agree. It was about 2 weeks before the wedding that he found the perfect mate. She was everything Naruto was looking for, and Naruto was everything she was looking for. Plus both were attracted to each other. It would take a little bit of time, but given the right nudge then they would fall in love. Kurama now had to get Kami to agree. He knew that Kami was the reason behind Hinata's actions. If Kami did not agree then the one Kurama had in mind would end up dead, and that would hurt Naruto even more. So Kurama made it to Kami and spoke with her. She was about 5 feet tall with long white hair and black eyes. She said, "I know why you are here, give me a reason to allow it." Kurama said. "He saved the world and you from darkness. Madara would not have stopped until he was in charge, and you were destroyed. You took away from him everyone that has ever loved him. His parents, Haku, and now Hinata." Kami sighed and said. "You are right, but what can I do? She may not work." Kurama said. "I think she will work, you just need to set up the meeting, fix her problems, and let me turn her daughter immortal when the time is right and let the rest go from there. I know this will work. I know Naruto better than anyone else." Kami said. "Very well, I agree. I am tired of my champion being screwed, and I hated doing that, but Hinata was not right for him as his immortal mate. I hope we are right that this one is right for him." Kurama said. "She is right for him. I can feel it. I know it to be true. However, you can't force her to love him, it will only cause more problems." So with a bow the demon fox lord left to return home and start his plan. It would not be easy, but when it worked Naruto would be happy finally. Kurama thought when it worked and not if it would work, since he was sure it would work. What is Kurama's plan? Wait to see. It had been a month since the wedding. Naruto was on a long mission. It took him a week longer than he expected to take. It did not bug him since he had no one to go home to. He had no one to greet him. He had no one to worry if he would come back home alive. Sure, he had friends, but they had their own lives to worry about. He also had his grandmother, but she had to worry about the village. He got back to the village and spoke with Tsunade. Tsunade said. "I am glad to see you back, Naruto. I got worried." Naruto smiled. Swan had become the mother or grandmother for him. He cared about her and she was the only reason he kept going right now. It was at the point that Swan didn't even care if Naruto called her grandma anymore. She was actually glad now when he called her that. She said. "Naruto, you will not like this, but you have been working too much. So unless it is needed I am not going to send you on any missions. You may still train, but I can't let you go on any more missions. You will be off duty for 6 months. Swan expected him to yell about that. In all honesty, she hoped that he would. If he did, then he would be more normal in her eyes. Naruto sighed and said, "It is okay, Grandma. Thank you for looking out for me. I am glad someone is looking out for me. If you need me, you know how to find me." Naruto left. He went to get some ramen, and once he was done he started to walk around for a while. He walked around the village and got near the forest. He sat down and summoned a small black fox. She was named Midnight and she was the personal summons of Naruto. She was like his sister. She jumps up on his shoulders and says, "So how are you, bro?" Naruto sighs. "What is the point anymore? I don't want to be a weapon, but right now that is all I feel like." Midnight cuddled up with her brother and said, "Don't turn into one. That will not end well for you. Don't give up. I say wait till the end of the year. If you have not found someone to date, then adopt a child. There are a lot of children that need homes due to the war." Naruto softly smiled at this and said, "Thanks sis, you are right." Just as he was about to go home and get some sleep, he and Midnight hear a scream for help. The two run to the location and see a little girl running from 5 men. The girl is about 4 years old. She has long black hair and light-colored red eyes. Her name is Rose and she is the daughter of Asuma and Kurenai. Asuma died in the war, so Rose never met her birth father. However, everyone in the village, including Naruto, told her about her birth father. No one was going to allow her to not know. Naruto watched her a few times when Kurenai was on a mission and no one else could. The two liked each other and got along well. So when Naruto sees the 5 men chasing her, his blood starts to boil. Using the blunt part of his sword, he knocks them out. The sword he has is the one his mother used in battle and the one that earned her the nickname of the Red Death. He hoped to someday surpass her, and since he was immortal that was going to happen. Rose clings to Naruto and does not let him go. Naruto had summoned a few more foxes. One comes back a few minutes later with Anko and, seeing what almost happened, drags the 5 away along with some shadow clones of Naruto. Naruto gently picks up Rose and Midnight shouts, "I found Kurenai, she is safe. She was not raped, she is okay, she may have a headache, but she is okay." Naruto creates a shadow clone without using seals. It is a good thing since he can't use his hands. He tried twice and each time Rose clung to him tighter. The clone gently picks up Kurenai. A small blue fox, her name was Ice, came up to him. Naruto asked her to get swanned. The group makes it back to Naruto's home. This home was his parents and he took it over after the war. Hinata made every move she could to stop it from being given to Naruto. He gets inside and has the clone place Kurenai on the couch. He is still holding on to Rose. He asks her, "Do you want anything?" Rose shakes her head no. She is very scared right now and does not want Naruto to leave. So Naruto sits down in a chair. The little girl falls asleep in his arms, holding on to him very tightly. Swan gets to his home or her home since Naruto allowed her to move in. The house had many rooms. Swan had her own wing. She sees Kurenai and does a checkup on her. After a few short minutes she says, "She is okay, just a small bruise. She was not raped. I think they were going to do it later. Now it is time to check on the girl." Naruto said, "That is great news. Can you check her from this spot? Whenever I try to move she starts to shake violently and clings to me tighter." Swan smiled. She noticed how Naruto was gently holding Rose and stroking the young girl's hair and whispering comforting words to her. She said, "Of course I can, and I think you need to adopt soon if you are not going to get married. You will make a great father." Naruto blushed and said, "Thank you, now can you look over Rose please?" So Swan did and said, "She is okay, no scratches on her. I would recommend to Kurenai that she sees a mind healer like Ino, but other than that she will be fine." Naruto said, "Okay, well since I can't move I am going to get some sleep, good night Grandma." Swan smiled and got into a chair and fell asleep as well. Midnight gave out a soft howl and 30 other foxes appeared in a large poof of smoke. Midnight said, "Okay everyone, please portal the home and do not let anyone near it unless it is the approved people. Wake Naruto if there is trouble and get the other 3 out." The foxes all nodded and went out to do just that. All the foxes knew what happened to Rose. To them, harming a child was unforgivable. All of them wanted to rip to pieces the ones that tried to harm the girl. Midnight stood guard over her brother. She did not call him master since Naruto did not like it. He felt it was wrong, and after some time she called him brother. She was told the plan by Kurama and she agreed that Kurenai would be a great mate for her brother. Plus Rose would be a great leader as well. She only hoped that a relationship did work or else her brother would be in worse shape. Kurenai Yuuhi was the Leaf Village's greatest master of Genjutsu. She had taken part in the final battle. She was told she did not have to fight since she had a daughter, but she wanted to fight. She knew she could die, but she had to take the chance. She had to fight to protect her daughter. Rose was Kurenai's pride and joy. The mother and daughter pair were enjoying a day out just having fun when they were attacked. Kurenai saw the 5 men coming and was able to warn Rose. Rose started to run. The men hit Kurenai with something because she passed out and all she heard before blackness overcame her was Rose screaming for help. Kurenai woke up and she felt very sore. It was then that she looked around and did not know where she was. She started to panic since she felt she had been kidnapped and any time now the kidnappers were going to rape her. She gets up but feels a hand push her down gently. She hears a voice say, "Kurenai, you need to rest. Your daughter is okay, just look over there." So she does and sees her daughter sleeping on someone that looks like Naruto. She then noticed that Tsunade was the one that was talking to her. Kurenai asked these questions one after the other without a break. What happened to me? What happened to Rose? Where are we? Who is she holding on to? Why is she holding on to him with a death grip? Tsunade smiled and was amazed at the speed with which the questions were asked. The Leaf Leader enjoyed working with Kurenai since she was one of the level head ninjas in her ranks. Kurenai was always so calm and collected, so it amused the Leaf Leader to see her like that. She said, "You are in my home. Actually Naruto's home, but since I live here I guess it is my home as well." Kurenai says. "Okay, what about the other questions?" Swan says. "Okay, Rose is sleeping on Naruto. He is the one that saved you both. He brought you here and asked me to look you and Rose over. You were not raped. Naruto was able to prevent that." She took a pause so Kurenai could take in the information. The red-eyed ninja was very happy to hear that nothing had happened to her or Rose. She had to thank Naruto, but she did not know how. Swan said after a few minutes. "As to why your daughter has a death grip on Naruto every time he tried to put her down, she clung to him like her life depended upon it. Naruto did not have the heart to remove her, so he sat down and fell asleep. He has been on a mission." Kurenai said. "Did they touch Rose?" The two heard a voice say. "No, they came close, but they did not actually touch her." Looking up they see a small black fox. Swan is used to the fox, but Kurenai is a little freaked out. The fox says, "I am Midnight and the personal summons of Naruto. He calls me his sister anyway. Your daughter is fine. I had a mind healer look at her. She will be scared for a few weeks of stranger, but that is normal for this type of attack." Kurenai says. "I can't thank you two enough for all that you have done." Midnight says. "Nothing needs to be done. Harming children is one crime we cannot stand. By we I mean Naruto and the rest of the foxes." Kurenai said. "Okay, but I am confused as to something. My daughter would not hug someone like that unless she knew the person. So I am guessing she knows Naruto, but how?" Swan says. "The one that I get to watch Rose when you are on a mission is Naruto." Kurenai trusted Swan's judgment, so she asked her leader to find someone to watch her daughter when she was out of the village on a mission. Kurenai asked. "I get the feeling that he has been avoiding me." Swan said. "The answer is simple, he is. He feels that you hate him for what happened to Asuma." Kurenai looked ashamed. She never did hate Naruto, not for having the fox, not for the death of her lover. When Naruto was younger she used to watch out for him. She always thought he was cute. Now lately she had noticed that he had become very handsome. Midnight said. "If you want to thank him, let him see Rose and hang out with her. The other thing is let him know you do not hate him. That will help him a lot." Naruto had woken up, he had heard everything. So he was really happy when he heard Kurenai say. "I don't hate him at all. I never hated him. I wanted to strangle Hinata when she said those words to him. I still want to do it." Naruto said. "That makes me very happy to hear that, Kurenai." Kurenai gets up and attempts to take her daughter back. After a few minutes she was able to pry her daughter off. She then gets ready to leave. Naruto says. "I am sending a few foxes to watch over her just in case there were others." Kurenai said. "Thank you, Naruto. I wish for you to come over tomorrow night and let me cook a meal for you." She took a pause and said. "I am sorry that I led you to think that I hate you. I don't hate you. If you wish to see my daughter, just ask. You are always welcome." Naruto smiled and said. "Thank you, I will be honored to come tomorrow night. May I bring something?" Kurenai asked. "Nothing at all, just come and be ready to have a nice time." Kurenai left with her daughter and a small force of foxes that were hidden in the shadows. Swan could not resist saying. "So you got a date tomorrow night?" Naruto said. "It is not a date, she is just being nice and thanking me for saving her daughter." Swan said. "Yes, I know, but I can still tease you. Besides, it would be nice if it was date, I know you would not mind that." Naruto said. "Any guy in this village besides the married ones and the ones that are gay would like to date Kurenai." Swan said. "True, well, good night, my grandson." She hugged him and gave him a kiss on the cheek. Naruto would not admit it, but he would not mind if it was in fact a date and not just a thank you. For yes, he did find Kurenai to be a very beautiful woman. She was one of the most beautiful women in the village, but he knew nothing about her. Midnight, sensing her brother's thought, said. "Now is your chance to get to know her. She could be a great friend or she could be more." Naruto said. You're right, sis. I will do just that and see what happens. Kurenai had gotten home and she was too tired to bring her daughter to her bed. So she sat on the couch and put her daughter's head on her lap. She was about to fall asleep when she saw a small yellow fox cuddle up to Rose and a small light blue fox cover them with a blanket. The small light blue fox said, "If you need anything, please let us know." Kurenai said, "How come that fox is cuddling with my daughter and what is her name?" The light blue one said, "I am called Ice and she is called Lightning. She cuddles with your daughter because she feels a bond. It is like Kiba's clan and the dogs. If you allow her, then your daughter will have a friend for life no matter what she does." Ice took a pause and said, "Before you ask, no, Naruto has not been teaching Rose the ways of the ninja. He knows you do not want her to be one. So he has not taught her a thing. Lighting was playing with her one day and they two have a bond, it seems. We were not sure how you would feel about it, so Lighting has stayed away." Kurenai said, "I will talk with Naruto tomorrow night and we can discuss it then." I said, "Okay, good night." Kurenai went to sleep and did not wake up till her daughter woke her up. Rose had gotten up that morning and she knew she was not in the same spot she fell asleep on last night. She noticed her friend Lighting was right next to her and she notices that she is near her mom. She tackled her mom in a huge hug and started to cry. That is what wakes up Kurenai, hearing her daughter cry. She pulls her close to her and says, "It is okay, no one will harm you. We were saved thanks to Naruto and the foxes. I have good news. He is coming tonight for dinner." Rose stopped crying and said, "That is good. I like him because he is a great person. He is so much fun to be with." Kurenai said, "So he has been watching you? How come you never told me?" Rose said, "You never asked. He told me to tell you that he was watching me. I have been lying to him and have been telling him that it is okay for him to watch me." Kurenai said, "It is not okay to lie to a young lady." Rose said, "I know, mommy, but I did not want him to stop watching me. He takes care of me and helps me see that I can do anything I want. Plus he needs me." Kurenai said, "What do you mean by that?" Rose said, "He is so very sad, I can feel it. When he is playing with me he is happy, I can feel it. Why is he so sad, mom?" Kurenai was unsure how to answer that. She of course knew the answer, but how to explain it to a 4-year-old? Lighting jumped up and said, "The one he loved broke his heart in a terrible way. She called him a monster. That, and combined with the fact that he was always treated badly by the people in this village, makes it hard for him." Lighting took a pause and said, "Rose, you are right, you have been helping Naruto. You have helped him more than anyone else in this village has besides his grandmother." Kurenai said, "From this day forward I will be his friend and will help him. I want to help him. Sad and depression do not work well with Naruto. I miss the days he used to play pranks." So Kurenai told her daughter and her fox guardians the stories of Naruto's pranks until she had to start making dinner. It caused laughter to fill the room. Naruto had gotten up that morning and he could not sleep. He usually could not sleep since she had nightmares. Most of them involved Hinata and the words she said. A few had Hinata hurting the people precious to him. Yes, he had those nightmares last night, but he kept thinking, which is what kept him awake. Holding Rose last night awoke a feeling inside his heart. He knew what it was and he knew what he had to do. Naruto spent a lot of time at the orphanage playing with the children. One of the first people to apologize to him was the matron of the orphanage. She had badly mistreated Naruto. She only did it since she was forced to. The civilian council told her that if she did not mistreat Naruto then they would cut her funding. They also did the same thing when she kicked him out at the age of 4. She had not been in good shape ever since. The guilt was eating her up. Naruto forgave her since she was only looking after the best interest of all the children. She cried when Naruto forgave her. Naruto went off into the orphanage. There was one little girl that no one wanted to adopt and it worried Naruto. She spent a lot of time with him. She had long black hair and bright blue eyes. She was the same age as Rose and like Rose she liked Naruto and enjoyed when he came to visit. Her name was Amber. Naruto knew when he got up that morning that he had to adopt her. He did not know what, but he had to do it. So he went downstairs to see his grandmother. She could tell right away that something was troubling him. Naruto said, "The little girl I have been telling you about at the orphanage, I am going to adopt her. Last time I left she had a look in her eyes of despair and sadness. I need to do it. Will you support me on this?" Tsunade was shocked but said, "Naruto, I have heard a lot of crazy things in my life, but this is the craziest. However, I will support you. Let us go and get your daughter." Naruto said, "I figured I was going to have to argue or beg for your help." Tsunade smiled and said, "I am not above that, but in this case I think it is a great idea." So the two left to go to the orphanage. When they got there the two were greeted by the matron. She smiled at them and said, "What can I do for you two?" Naruto asked. "Has anyone adopted Amber yet?" The matron said sadly. "I am afraid no one has yet." Naruto said, I would like to adopt her if that is okay. The matron smiled a bright smile before saying. Of course, let us go see if she wants to be adopted by you. Naruto walked into the room and the little girl sees him and makes a beeline for him. She hugs him and says. I am glad you are back. I missed you. Naruto picks her gently and says. Amber, do you want a home? Do you want to have a father? If so, do you want to live with me and become my daughter? Amber started to cry, but these were tears of joy. She hugged him tighter and said. Yes, I do, daddy. So after all the paperwork was done with, Naruto took his new daughter out. He was going to take her shopping, but first she needed to get some food. Amber only had a few items. Tsunade had gone back to work. Shizune was sent to help Naruto do clothing shopping. Naruto said after they had picked out enough outfits for Amber to have a wardrobe. Thanks for your help. I am at a loss as to what to do with clothing. Shizune said. Don't worry, my friend. I was glad to help. Now go get ready for your date. Naruto blushed and said. It is not a date. Shizune said. I know, now go and get ready. Naruto took Amber to a toy store. She was encouraged to pick out a few toys. She really liked the stuffed nine-tailed fox. Naruto thought it was very funny, so he got it for her. The two then headed home to get ready. He said. Tonight we are having dinner at a friend's house. She is thanking me for helping her daughter. Her daughter is your age, I think you two could be friends. Amber asked. Will I be allowed there, daddy? Midnight said. Yep, you sure are allowed there. Kurini's words were. Why would he ask such a stupid question? Of course she is welcomed here. Amber was not at all freaked out by the talking foxes. She was used to them. Like Rose, she also had a fox partner. Hers was red and named Ruby. Ruby was sitting on her shoulders. Naruto loved it when Amber called him daddy. He could not explain why, but he loved it. After getting home and getting dressed for dinner, the father-daughter pair made their way to Kurini's home for dinner. Amber climbed on her daddy's shoulders. Up above, Kurama was laughing his butt off. The little girl got a toy plushie of him. He should be offended by the toy plushie, but he was not. He thought it was cool. Whoever made them really got his likeness. Naruto adopting Amber was not a part of his original plan, but he thought it was good. Ami said form behind him. I thought it would work. She lost her parents in the war. Naruto can help her and she can help him. Plus she will be a great person. When the time comes, I want you to turn her as well. Kurama said. Unexpected, but I like it. I am shocked that you would allow this. Kami said. I know I have not acted like it, but I do act like Naruto. I respect him. He has a great heart. I was at first furious when you made him immortal. However, I agree with you. The world would be a bad place if he died. She took a pause before saying. Now let us watch the dinner. Chapter 6. Dinner night. Shizune was speaking to her master and mentor, and she asked the question that was burning on her mind. You see, the Hokage Tsunade had to approve any adoptions that were done with any of her ninjas. So she wondered why Tsunade allowed it. She asked her master that point blank. Thankfully, the relationship they had allowed that. Tsunade answered with a question of her own. How was he today when you helped him? Was he the same as he has been the last 6 months, or was he different? Shizune thought about it and said, he was a little like the Naruto we used to know. Not all the way, but a little bit. Tsunade said. That is why I allowed it. If all goes well, then we will have the old Naruto back. If we have the old one back, then maybe he can find a wife and fulfill his real dream. Naruto and Amber were on their way to dinner with Kurini and Rose. Naruto was starting to feel like himself once more. He knew he was not 100%, but he was getting there, and that was enough for him. After a few minutes, the pair gets to Kurini's home. She lets them in and Amber is a little shy. She hides behind her dad's leg and holds onto it tightly. Rose goes up to Amber and sticks out her hand. The two shake hands. Amber sees that Rose has a fox on her shoulder as well, so she goes and starts to play with her. Amber knows that foxes only go to people that are good. So she knows she is safe. Kurini and Naruto start to talk and chat about stuff. Kurini really likes chatting with Naruto. He is fun to talk with. Plus he listens to her, and that is something that very few do with her. Anko, her best friend, listens, but most of the time she is drunk. Naruto listens and hangs on every word. Kurini was thinking that she may have to seek out Naruto if she needs to talk to someone from now on. Naruto listened, but not only that he did not judge, nor did he give advice, he just listened. After about an hour, Kurenai said. Naruto, about lighting, will she harm Rose? Naruto said. No, not at all. She would die before that happens. She will protect Rose with her life. He took a pause before saying. Think of lighting as an older sister always watching over Rose. No matter what, lighting will not fail. She is beating herself up. Kurenai asked. Why is that? Naruto said. Simple, she feels that she should have done more. She feels that it's her fault that you two were hurt. Kurenai said. Okay, what needs to be done for this bond to form? Naruto smiled and said. It already has. Will you allow Lighting to stay with Rose? Kurenai said. You need her. Naruto smiled and said. She is a great friend, but she would do well with Rose. I promised Asuma on his grave that I would watch out for Rose. Lighting is helping with that. Naruto called the little fox over and she jumped on his shoulder and said. What do you need, brother? Naruto said. I have good news. Lightning Kurenai has accepted that you are Rose's guardian. So from this day forward until I say otherwise you are to be with her. Lighting her happiness, she licks Kurenai's cheek and says, thank you, I will protect your daughter with my life. Kurenai started to pet the fox which earned a happy purr from the fox. Lighting rejoined the girls playing. Naruto was smiling seeing his daughter happy. Kurenai said. So what made you decide to adopt? If you don't mind telling me that is. Naruto said. Well, to be honest, I have been debating on if I should do it or not. I have not felt like I should take care of a child, so that is why I have been holding off. I have not felt emotionally stable enough to do that. Naruto took a pause before he said. Last night as Rose was holding on to me I felt something in my heart. I felt the love of a child, the unconditional love of a child towards their parents. I know I am not her parent, but it reminded me of my true dream. He took a pause before saying. Only my grandmother knows my true dream. Actually the foxes know, so I should restate that. My grandmother is the only human that knows my true dream. My true dream was to get married and have a family of my own. I wanted lots of children. Kurenai said. You figured adopting Amber would help her have a home and help fill the void in your heart. It was not a question, more of a statement. That did not stop Naruto from saying. Yes, I had hoped to start a family with Hinata, but we all know how that worked. Kurenai pulled him into a hug and said. I don't know what you are going through, but I will be here to help you. If you need someone to talk to I will listen. Naruto smiled and hugged her back before saying. Thank you so much. After that dinner was served and everyone had a great time eating. Naruto really liked Kurani's cooking. She was a master cook. Afterwards the girls were getting sleepy. The girls wanted a bedtime story. Naruto said. Okay, I have one. Listen up, this about a princess. So Naruto told a story about a princess that was cursed by an evil witch and she ended up with the help of her best friend breaking the curse. Along the way the princess fell in love with her best friend. The two were married and had many hardships. The girls fell asleep after the story. Kurenai gently took her daughter to her room and placed the young girl on her bed. She gets back in and sees Naruto stroking Amber's hair softly. She thinks to herself. You will make a great father, Naruto. I hope you find a wife soon and whoever she is will be lucky as can be. She says. Before you go, in 2 days I am going on a mission that will last 1 to 3 weeks, maybe more. Do you know anyone that can watch Rose for me? Naruto said. I was told I am being forced to take some vacation for a few months. So she can stay with me. Amber and Rose get along. I think it will be great. Kurenai said. You don't mind doing it? Naruto said. Not at all, it will be my pleasure to watch her. I promise not to teach her anything. Kurenai said. I have been thinking about that since last night. It is in her blood, plus it is what she really wants. So if she wants it, can you teach her? Naruto said. Of course I will teach her. I was planning on teaching Amber. After a brief hug from the two adults in which both felt sad that the hug did not last longer, Naruto picked up Amber and went home. He was about to put her in her bed when she woke up and said. Daddy, can you please hold me tonight? I am scared I will wake up and this will be a dream. He gently kissed her forehead and said. Of course, my little angel. It was the morning after the dinner with Kurenai and Tsunade right now was not in a good mood. This was no surprise for her or for anyone that knew her. She was not often in a good mood in the morning. However, what did shock her and the people that knew her was the reason behind her bad mood. Usually she was mad that she had too much paperwork to do. Naruto taught her the secret of how to beat paperwork. She really loved shadow clones, by the way. Usually she was in a bad mood since she could not drink in the morning. After the battle she stopped drinking, so that was out. Usually she got mad at Naruto, but he had been quiet lately and that worried her more, but she knew he may be back to his old self soon, so that was out. Now the reason for her bad mood was not Naruto, nor was it Kurenai, nor was it Hinata. Hinata had gotten wind that Naruto had adopted and she did not like it at all. She made it to Tsunade's office and demanded to speak with her. As a clan leader she had the right to do it. Hinata was not alone, she had her allies on the council. By allies I mean minions, puppets, people that still hated Naruto no matter what. Swan said. Lady Hinata and various non-important council members, to whom do I owe this interruption? Before they could speak, Swan said. Actually, I know the reason. You only come in with your puppets when you want to ruin Naruto's life even more. So I am assuming you heard about the adoption. I can't wait to hear your excuse as to why he should not have been allowed to adopt. Before Hinata says anything, Swan shouts. Shizune, looks like you won the bet, she came today. I lost again. A random councilwoman asked. The author says random since she is not important. What bet? Swan said. I bet Shizune 100 that you lot will come in 2 days. Shizune bet today. So I got rid of my alcohol problem, but not my gambling problem. Oh well. One vice at a time. Hinata was not expecting this. She was expecting to be ignored or told no. She was not expecting to be laughed at and treated like a joke. This enraged her. She said. Now listen, I demand respect. Swan said very calmly, but everyone knew she was not. I am not a part of your little clan. I do not need to respect you. It must be earned, not given. Now say your excuse so I may get back to work. Hinata said. He is a demon and he will hurt the child. I am going to use all my political power to get the adoption reversed. Swan said. Well, it is a good thing I already saw this coming. She tossed Hinata a scroll and said. By the way, there are many copies of this one. The scroll said that every Kage of all the major villages along with many federal lords all supported the adoption. In other words, if Hinata tried anything, her clan was sunk. Swan said. Now that this is over, please leave unless you have another stupid excuse. Hinata said. I will just have to use other ways. Swan said. Hinata, whatever you are planning, I would suggest you stop. If you try to harm his child, Naruto will hurt you 1,000 times worse. Hinata smirked and said. My clan will protect me, he would not dare attack me. Swan said. He is like his mother. His mother, if you harmed her important people, not even Kami herself could stop his mother. I am giving you this warning. Council members, remember one thing, I am in charge. You are here to advise, not to order around. Now get out of my office. Up above, Kami was smiling because Swan was right about Naruto's mother. Even Kami was scared of Naruto's mother. Hinata left, vowing to kill Naruto and his child. She would have to wait. She wanted Naruto to lower his guard. She knew it would not be easy, but she would do it. The Branch family used to love her and hoped she would be clan leader. However, now they feared her and wanted her gone. The members of the Branch family respect Naruto. They had hoped that he would marry Hinata and the two would get rid of the cage bird seal. All that hope was dashed. A Branch family member was out on a mission. She had completed it, but she had one more thing to do. She made it to Naruto's home. He was awake, but his daughter was asleep. She gets him to open the door and she says. I must be quick. Hinata has discovered that you adopted a child. She plans on killing your child. I do not know when. Naruto asked. Why are you telling me this? If she finds out, she will kill you and anyone else she feels like. The woman said. I know, but it is what we as the Branch family want to do. Every one of us hoped and prayed that you and Hinata would marry. We hoped and prayed that the seal would be removed from us forever. Now it is a dead dream. That was why Neji died with a smile on his face. He felt that the rest of us would be free. Naruto said. It will still happen. I promised and I never go back on my word. I will find a way so that Neji would not have died in vain. The woman said. I know and I hope to live to see that day. With that, the woman is gone. Naruto says. Midnight, do we have any seal masters in the clan? Midnight said. Yes, we do, but removing the seals will only cause war. Naruto said. Good point. Okay, then please send some foxes to watch out for that person. Stop Hinata from killing her if you can and anyone else. Also keep tabs on Hinata. Midnight said. I will not allow her to harm Amber. Naruto said. I know, but I don't trust her. I am scared of what she might do. Naruto went to get his daughter up and ready for the day. They had a busy day today. Amber gets up and at first she was confused and a little scared. She then sees her daddy and jumps at him and starts to cry. She says. I thought it was a dream. Naruto pulls her tighter to his chest and says. It is not a dream, my little angel. You are here to stay and nothing, and I mean nothing, will make me send you back. Amber asked with a lot of fear in her voice. More fear than a child her age should have in their voice, Naruto noted. What if you find a woman you love and she wants me gone? Naruto said. Then I will tell her that she can leave. You are way too important to me. I love you and I will not let anyone take you for me. Amber said. Thank you, daddy, I love you too. What are we doing today? Naruto said. We have to get you a checkup. Hopefully with one of the three I trust. There are also a lot of people that wish to meet you. Including the ones I see as family. Also tomorrow Rose is going to stay with us for a few weeks. I hope that is okay. Amber smiled at what she said. I like her, she is a great friend. She is my first human friend. She started to pet Ruby. Naruto said. Well, you are going to make more friends. So the pair had breakfast that Naruto made. It was not ramen, if you can believe it. Naruto knew how to cook. He knew since he was a child. The only reason he ate ramen so much was that was all he could afford when he was a kid. After the war he ate better since stores actually sold him stuff that was not outdated. Naruto said. Time to go and get you a checkup. Amber was a little nervous because she did not like doctors. The doctor that came to the orphanage was not a nice person, but he was the only one that would come. Naruto said. Don't worry, I asked that one of 3 people give you a checkup and all 3 I trust 100%. They will not hurt you. The 2 make it to the hospital. Midnight is on Naruto's shoulder. The nurse at the front desk no longer said anything about the fox. She always respected Naruto and never treated him badly. She was one of the few at the hospital that was allowed to treat Naruto. That was one reason she did not say anything. The other was that Swan would kill her if she had no doubt. The nurse said, so have you gotten hurt again, Naruto? Naruto said. No, I need a checkup for my daughter. The nurse said. Okay, you know where to wait, and what do you mean daughter? The nurse looks down and sees the small child holding on to Naruto. The nurse smiles and says. Sorry, we were told you had adopted, but no one believed it. Sakura is waiting in her office. She will give the checkup, she said. She beat up the others that wanted to do it. Naruto laughed since he knew the nurse meant that Sakura beat up the others. Naruto gently picked up his daughter and held her close. He carried her up to Sakura's office. When they get there, the pink-haired one is waiting for them. She says. So you get back from your mission, save Kurenai and her daughter, adopt a child and have dinner with Kurenai, and you don't tell me. I am hurt. Naruto then explained what happened. Sakura said. Wow, that sounds so like you. Anyway, you want your daughter to have a checkup, well, let us get to it. Sakura looks at Amber and smiles. She says. Hello little one, my name is Sakura and I am a friend of your father. Actually, we are teammates. Anyway, I am going to check to make sure that you are as healthy as you can be. So Sakura started to do a scan on Amber. Sakura checked everything and checked it twice. Sakura said. Well, Naruto and Amber. I have great news. Amber, you're 100% healthy. You are where you should be at your age. Just make sure she has a proper diet and all the usual stuff. Amber hugged Sakura and said, thank you auntie. Amber ran to the bathroom and while there Naruto said. So what is the bad news, and before you deny it, I know you by now. Sakura sighed and said with a lot of nervousness. Physically she is fine, but there is something up with her mind. I am not sure what it is. I suggest Ino look at her. There are signs that she was abused. They are small but they are there. She was nervous at what Naruto's actions would be. Before the war he would have hunted down her parents and tried to find answers. Now he said. Okay, thanks for being honest with me. If her parents are alive I shall make sure they do not come near her. If they are not alive then I will help Amber recover, that is all I can do. Amber came back and started to play with the toys in the waiting room. Sakura said. So how did your date go? Naruto said. It was not a date, why do you 3 keep on saying that? Sakura said. Okay, so it was not a date, but I bet you wish it was. Naruto said. Nearly every guy in this village would wish for it. I got to spend time with her and I liked it a lot. I got the chance to get to know her and I know I am falling for her, but I am scared. Naruto took a pause and said. She is everything I am looking for. Smart, funny, has a great heart and will do anything for her important people. Naruto took another pause before saying. You and I both know it will not happen even if I wanted it. She will not see me that way. Even if we do date, what could prevent her from hurting me like Hinata did? Sakura was shocked by this. Not by what he said but by how fast he said it. She figured she would have to draw it out of him. Naruto said. I figured that was your plan, so I might as well just say it quickly. Now if you excuse me, we need to go see Ino. Naruto and Amber left the hospital and went to see Ino. Ino was shocked when she saw the little girl with Naruto. She asked. So who is this Naruto? Naruto smiled and said. This is my daughter Amber. Ino did a double take and said. Wow, congrats, so what can I do for you? Naruto explained what he wanted done. Ino, using her clan's techniques, went into Amber's mind. She came back 10 minutes later and she was mad. Naruto had never seen her that mad before. She then did some hand signs and touched her hands to Naruto's head and said. Memory sharing. Naruto then saw all that Ino saw and it made his blood boil. The good news is he had the faces of Amber's birth parents, so he could see if they were alive and make sure they stayed away from Amber. Ino said. Naruto, I know about Kurenai and I am going to say give it a chance if it comes up. Don't let that stupid girl ruin you. Naruto hugged Ino and thanked her. Amber did the same thing. Ino nearly cried when Amber called her auntie. The duo went to get some lunch and on the way they ran into Iruka, who Amber could tell was a nice guy. They ate lunch together. Iruka said. So is it true that you are dating Kurenai? Naruto said. Not you too. No, I am not dating her, and to answer your next question, yes, I would love to date her, but answer my question, why would she date me? What do I have to offer one of the, if not the most beautiful woman in the village? She is not only beautiful, but she is kind, smart, funny and has a great heart. She is perfect. Iruka said. Besides the vast amounts of money you have, the large house and all the power you have a good heart as well. When people go to you with problems, you listen and try to help. You will go through the fires of hell for the important ones in your life. Iruka said after a short pause. You also adore her daughter, and that is a big plus in your favor. My advice is go for her. Naruto excused himself and went out to meet more people. Swan wanted to meet her great-granddaughter. She could not meet her the other day. She signed the paperwork and left to get to work. Little did Naruto know, but 3 other people had heard his conversation. One was Anko, one was Rose, and the other was Kurenai. Kurenai had a hard time sleeping. She really enjoyed spending time with Naruto. She knew that he was a very handsome man and one of the most sought-after men in the village. Someone once got the idea of setting up a tournament. The winner got to marry Naruto. Swan put that idea down fast. Kurenai laughed at the memory. It was very funny. A few women were sent to the hospital. One was still in it. She knew that she always found Naruto to be cute, but now he was hot and she was attached to him, of that she had no doubt. After last night she knew she was falling for him, but she never figured he would go for her. He had all that she was looking for in a partner. He had a big heart and was able to forgive. He had a kind smile that could put anyone at ease. She felt that no one would want her with all the baggage she had. She had a few things she needed to take care of, so she got up and ready for the day. Rose got up and was really happy to learn that she would be staying with Naruto, or Uncle Naruto as she called him. First, Kurenai made a change to her will. She made Naruto the guardian of Rose should she pass away on a mission. She knew it was a rash choice, but she knew it was the right one. In her heart it was the right choice. Kurenai could not stop thinking about Naruto. She was really confused about her feelings for the blonde-haired ninja. She needed to talk to someone. Sand was out since Kurenai did not want to admit to her leader that she might be falling for her son or grandson. She was downright terrified of telling her that. Shizune was out since she would tell Sand. She knew who she should ask but was afraid to ask. The person she knew she should ask saw Naruto like a little brother. She was Anko. Before the war, Anko started to date Iruka. Naruto wrote Iruka while on his training trip. In one letter he told his former teacher that he should ask Anko on a date. Iruka did, and the couple hit it off very well. Before the war the two were married. Iruka saw Naruto as a little brother. Once Anko learned that it was Naruto that made Iruka ask her on a date, she became fond of him. Anko started to see the blonde one as a little brother. She became the big sister, and she took the role of protective big sister very seriously. So much so that many people that insulted her little brother or had any intention of harming him meet with a lot of pain. One guy found out just how many snakes Anko could summon. Kurenai wondered how Anko would act knowing she had a niece now. Kurenai decided to find Anko later and ask for her advice. She took Rose and spent the day with her. She liked spending a lot of time with Rose before a big mission in case she did not come back. While they were out playing, Kurenai told Rose. As you know, you will be staying with Uncle Naruto. I want you to be good for him. I also gave him permission to teach you the ways of the ninja. Rose was really happy to hear that it was her dream to be a ninja. Kurenai was afraid of losing her daughter, which is why she did not want her daughter to become a ninja. However, she realized last night talking with Naruto that it was in Rose's blood. Both of her birth parents were ninjas, so it was natural. They did not have to find Anko, for she found them instead. Anko had a look of pure joy on her face. Usually she had that look when she got to torture someone. Anko said. I can't believe I have a niece. I can't wait to meet her. I also can't believe you had a date with my little brother and did not ask me first. Kurenai at the last comment blushed bright red and said. It was not a date. I was just thanking him for saving me and Rose. Anko said. I know I am just messing with you. However, the blush on your face says to me that you are attracted to my little brother. Now, as an overprotective big sister, I must make sure of your intentions with my little brother. So what are they? Kurenai said. That is what I want to talk to you about. The truth is, you are right, I am attracted to him. What single woman is not? However, I got the chance to talk to him last night and to learn more about him. I want to date him, but… Anko could tell her friend was nervous. So she said gently, more gentle than anyone would expect from her. What is troubling you? Kurenai answered. I want to date him and see if anything can come from it, but why would he want to date me? Plus I am afraid of 3 people, and one is dead. Anko said. Well, about me, I heard my brother and you will not see the next day. Swan does the same thing, except it will hurt more. Who is the other? Kurenai said. His mother, you know what she was like. If I piss her off she can hurt me from the grave. Anko said. All good points, but here is my advice. Think about it while on the mission if you can. If you like the idea, then ask him on a date. I think he has given up on finding love. The trio then went to get some lunch. They ended up being near the same place that Naruto and Iruka and Amber were having lunch, so they heard everything that was said by Naruto. Kurenai watched him walk out, and once he left she sat down with Anko and Iruka and Rose and started to softly cry. she said in between tears. He called me beautiful. No man has ever said that about me and meant it or wanted something from me. Anko said. So does that answer your question, my friend? Kurenai says. Yes it does, and I know what I need to do. Come on Rose, let us go find Uncle Naruto. The mother and daughter pair left to find the blonde-haired ninja. Haruka said. Do you think they will get together? Anko said. Yes, the question I have is will they stay together? I swear if she hurts him I will kill her. The Urka knew his wife was serious. Anko said. So tell me about our niece. The Urka did long into the afternoon. Naruto and Rose went around the village visiting people that were friends of Naruto. Ino had made sure that everyone knew of Naruto adopting Amber. All of his friends congratulated him and offered to help out if it was needed. Now it was time for Amber to meet Tsunade. Amber heard of the great Hokage and respected her. Both Naruto and Tsunade were Amber's heroes. So it made the little girl really happy to know they were her family now. She was a little nervous about meeting Tsunade, but her daddy put her mind at ease. Amber was really happy that she had a home now. She was scared to go to sleep last night. She was afraid she would wake up and it would all be a dream, a really good dream, but a dream nonetheless. She said to her daddy before they got to Tsunade's office. Thank you. Naruto said. For what? Amber hugged him tightly and said. Thank you for adopting me and making me your daughter and for giving me a home. Naruto hugged her back and said. I am only sorry I did not do it sooner. Naruto took her hand and the two walked to the tower. The two get into the Hokage's office. At once Amber bows to Tsunade. Tsunade pulls her granddaughter into a hug and says. Now I will have none of this bowing from my family. Tsunade did the scan one more time. She was paranoid when it came to her family. Tsunade said. Amber, should you need help and your daddy can't help you, I will always be glad to help you little one. After talking for a while Amber hugged her and said. I will see you later grandma. I love you. The two then left and Tsunade cried. She finally had a family. She only wished she had not wasted so much time. However, she vowed she would be there for her granddaughter. She said, Kushina, you would be proud of your son. I only wish you could see him now and your granddaughter. Up above watching Kurama and Kami was Kushina and she was indeed proud of her son. I know you guys are looking for the relationship part, but be patient. You will get your lemon party soon. Kurenai was looking for Naruto and was having a hard time finding him. She spent a good 3 hours looking for him. After a while Rose said. Mommy, Lighting said she can find him. Kurenai gave the fox the evil eye before she said. Why did you not tell me this? Lighting gave a very Naruto-like grin when she said. You never asked. Kurenai said. You are sounding and looking like Naruto. Lighting said. I will take that as a compliment. We foxes like to have fun and play pranks. Even in our world Naruto's pranks are legendary. Now he has just left the Hokage tower and is heading to his house. The three made it to Naruto's house just as he and Amber got home. Naruto said. Hello Kurenai, is everything okay? Do you need to leave sooner? Kurenai said. No, I am still leaving. At the same time I need to talk to you. It is a little personal. Naruto said. Well, I am about to make dinner. The girls can play if they want and you two can stay for dinner if you want. The two said girls ran inside the house. Amber led Rose to her room and they started to play with the toys. They really loved the doll house and the castle. The doll house had dolls and furniture. In many ways it had more stuff than Naruto did growing up. The castle also had stuff going with it. In all it was very nice stuff to play with. Naruto went into the kitchen to start dinner. Kurenai was watching him cook and was amazed at it. Naruto seemed so natural at it. After a few minutes Naruto said. So what do you need to talk about? Kurenai said. I heard what you said at the restaurant. Did you mean it? Naruto blushed and said. Yes, I meant every word of it. Kurenai said. So you think I am beautiful? Naruto said. No, I know you are beautiful inside and out. Talking with you last night I saw that. Kurenai asked. Were you ever going to ask me on a date? Naruto said. I am not sure. I am scared about dating right now. I like you and want to see if anything can form between us, but I am scared. Kurenai took his hands and said. You are not the only one that is scared. I am scared as well. Let us be scared together. Naruto smiled and said. After you get back will you go on a date with me? Kurenai smiled and said. That would make me happy. Naruto said with a lot of nervousness in his voice. May I please kiss you now? Kurenai was shocked, but she got over it really fast. She said with a bright smile on her face. Yes please. So Naruto pulled her into a kiss. It was short, but both felt a spark. Both felt wonderful after getting the kiss. The two adults did not know that Amber and Rose had seen the kiss. Right now they were in Amber's room. Rose said. I hope it means what I think it means. Amber said. Only time will tell. Who knows, maybe we will be sisters someday. Rose said. Yes maybe, but I think for now we should keep it a secret that we saw them kissing. Amber said. I agree, and if they need help we should help them. Daddy needs a wife. Rose said. I want mommy to be happy. So the two little girls agreed that they would not interfere with the relationship of the parents. Dinner was served and everyone loved it. Kurenai already had her mission gear ready. She also had Rose's stuff ready and brought it over to Naruto's house. She did not want to leave Naruto right now. After dinner the girls went to play before bedtime. Kurenai tucked Rose into bed. She said, I will be gone when you wake up. So be good and I will be back. I love you, my little flower. Kurenai knew the nickname was lame, but she still used it. Rose hugged her mother and said, I will be a good girl, mommy. Please come back soon. I love you too. Kurenai and Naruto stayed up a little bit. Kurenai said, Naruto, this morning I made a change to my will. I left you as Rose's guardian. Naruto said, in the unlikely event you die I will watch out for her. I will raise her as if she is my own. Kurenai said, I know that is why I did it. I am sorry for not asking you first. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Naruto pulled her into a hug. Naruto tried to end the hug, but Kurenai said, please hold me tonight. I have never felt like this, being held by someone. Please hold me. Naruto, not wanting to upset the one he cared about, did just that. The two shared one more kiss. Naruto was about to get up and go to bed when he was stopped by Kurenai. She said, don't move, I want to use you as a pillow. Please don't get up. Hold on to your girlfriend. Naruto smiled and kissed her one more time before saying, as long as you want me to hold on I will always hold on to you. After one last kiss Kurenai put her head on his chest and fell asleep. This was the first time in over 6 years that sleep was easy for her. Naruto stayed up a little longer. Like Kurenai, he felt safe and happy. He felt safe when she was in his arms. Like her, this was the first time sleep was easy for him. Unlike her, it was the one of the first times in his whole life that sleep was easy for him. Last night as he held Amber was one as well. Up above, Kurama was smirking. His plan was coming to pass. Kushina said, I want to thank you for what you have done for my son. Kurama said, everything bad in his life can be traced back to me. It was the least I could do. Kushina said, okay, but something he always says. Do not worry about the past, only the present and the future. Besides, there is another reason I was your host once. Kurama said, true, I do respect him. He never once cracked and thought about hurting the village. You did many times, yet he never did. He needs someone by his side. She is the perfect one for that. Kushina said, I agree, but we have a little bit of time before that happens. I can't wait to talk to her. Kurama was not sure if the talk was going to be violent. With Kushina it could go either way. Kurama was a little nervous about this. Kushina said, don't worry, my friend, I won't hurt her. I agree with you that she is the best choice as his wife. She can keep him in line, no one else can. Not even his grandmother can keep him in line. I only wish I could see my granddaughter because she is so cute. They heard a figure say. I agree, she is, and I am glad Naruto is watching over her. Looking up, they see a woman that looks like an older version of Amber. She was called Sally and she was killed in the final battle. Her husband was still alive and he was the one that hurt her daughter. She said, I am glad she is safe and sound. Thank you for looking after her. I am also sorry, Lord Kurama. You see, Sally was one of the many people that hurt Naruto when he was younger. She did not miss the irony at all. My readers, have you missed it? Kurama said. Thank you, but it is Naruto you need to apologize to. He is the one you hurt. Yes, he does know that he adopted the daughter of one of his abusers. Sally said. Then I shall do that. Naruto was asleep. Often when he was sleeping he was in his mindscape. After a while someone appeared before him. She was an older version of Amber and Naruto knew who she was. He said. To what do I owe this visit? Here to hurt me for adopting your daughter? Here to get revenge against the demon? Sally looked down in shame. The worst part was that he had no malice in his voice. That part scared Sally more than anything she had ever seen. Sally bowed and said, I am here for a few reasons. The first is the thank you for taking care of my daughter and for giving her a home. She took a pause and got all the way on the ground and bowed once more before saying, I am sorry for all that I have done to you. I am sorry for all that I said to you and about you. After Amber was born I saw the truth of what I did. I know words will never make up for what I have done, but I am sorry. Naruto long ago learned to read people's faces so he could tell if someone was lying to him. He knew that Sally was not lying to him. He said, forget about it. The past is done with, let it stay there. Is there anything I need to know about Amber? Sally smiled and said, her birth father is the one that beat her and he is still alive. Please do not let him take her. Naruto promised that he would not. Sally hugged Naruto and then faded away. The next morning Naruto woke up when Kurenai left to go on her mission. He said, by the way, I forgot to mention that one of my sisters has bonded with you. Kurenai said with a look of shock on her face. Really, who? Ice jumped on her shoulder and said. That would be me. Now let us go, we got a mission to do. Kurenai kissed Naruto before she left. Both felt the spark from the kiss and both felt great. Kurenai was well rested since she had not slept that well in years. She was ready for her mission. She made it to the village gate and left to do her mission. It was a simple one but would take time. She now had 2 things or 2 people to return home to. Actual 3 if she counted Amber. Rose and Amber woke up to the smell of food cooking. Both girls got dressed and ready for the day and rushed downstairs to get the food. Naruto watched the 2 girls carefully. Amber was doing a lot better. She did not have the fear in her eyes that she had yesterday morning. She had accepted that she had a home for life. Rose on the other hand was not looking well. She was barely holding on. Naruto knew that it would not take much for her to break. Naruto hugged her and that made her break down. Amber joined in the hug when her friend started to cry. Naruto whispered softly in her ear. Let it out, let it all out. We are here for you. It is okay to cry. No one will be upset with you. Rose did just that. After a good hour she was done crying. She had fallen asleep from crying so much and so hard. Naruto had a guess as to what was making her feel this way. He could not help her unless she admitted it. He was unsure if Rose would admit what was scaring her or how long it would take. There was a knock on the door. Naruto carefully with Rose in his arms got up and answered it. Standing there was Anko. She says. So I want to meet my niece and why did you not introduce me to her yet? Naruto said. To be honest I was not sure she was ready to meet you yet. You can be scary at times sis. Anko said. Cut someone's cheek and drink their blood one time and you are labeled crazy for life. Anko noticed that did not get a reaction out of Naruto. Not even a small smiled. Anko finally saw the girl up close. Amber said. It is nice to meet you Auntie Anko. Anko was shocked that the girl knew who she was. Amber said. Rose told me about you. She said that you saw Daddy as a little brother. She said you could be scary but you would never harm me or let anyone else harm me. Anko smiled and said. You are right I will not harm you nor will I let anyone else harm you. It was then that Anko noticed for the first time the position of Rose. She beat herself up for not noticing that right away. Naruto answered the unasked question but the one he knew was going to be asked anyway. She woke up this morning and broke down crying hard for an hour. She then passed out. Anko said. Why what is wrong? Naruto said. Amber go and play please I will call you when we leave okay? Amber asked with a lot of concern on her face. Is Rose going to be okay? Naruto said. It will not be easy but she will be okay. She will need your help. Be there for her and let her know you are her friend. A simple hug can help out a lot in this case. Amber hugged her father and went to play in her room. Naruto said. I suspect that she is scared plain and simple. Anko said. I never noticed her being scared before. Naruto said. Then it means that Kurenai made the right choice in allowing her to be a ninja. Anko was shocked by that and she let it be known in her voice. She allowed her daughter to be a ninja. Naruto said. Yes she even asked me to teach Rose. Anko said. Wow times have changed but you are right if she can hide her feelings so well then she will make a great ninja. Now on to the point why is she scared? Also why have you not put her down on a bed? Naruto said. I have not put her on a bed since when she wakes up she will be more scared if she is not near someone. What are all children of single parents that happen to be ninjas afraid of? Anko thought about it before saying. She is afraid Kurenai will not come back alive. The 2 heard a voice say with a lot of sadness laced into. I am afraid I will be alone if mommy dies. Naruto said. You will never be alone. Your mommy made me your guardian should she die. I promise you if that happens I will adopt you and take care of you. He took a pause and pulled the younger girl into a hug before saying. Your mom is one of the strongest I know. She will not die that easily. Rose said. Okay at least I won't be alone. I am still scared. Naruto said. It is okay to be scared. Rose said. I thought a ninja could not show fear or emotions. Naruto said. Yes you are correct about that point. However that is on the battlefield. He had to take a pause to figure out how best to explain this. He said. At home and with friends it is okay to show fear and emotions. If you bury them then you will end up nothing more than a weapon. Naruto had called Amber down and she climbed onto his lap and cuddled with her father. He said. There is a guy I know. His name is Sai. He used to not have any emotions at all. Everything he did was fake. After a while he started to show emotions but until he did he was not well at all. He did not fit in. He told me that he did not feel like he was a person. He felt like a sword. Naruto took a pause before saying. So the bottom line is show emotions do not bury them. At times as a ninja we have to harden our hearts but they should not stay hardened or else we will not be human. I know that is a lot to take in. If you two still wish to be ninjas I will start to train you. The 2 little girls ran upstairs to Amber's room. Naruto went to check on them 10 minutes later and the two were asleep. Anko the whole time was shocked at what she heard out of Naruto's mouth. She did not know he was that deep. Anko said, "Naruto, I will admit I had my doubts about you being a good father. However, they are all dead now. You are an amazing person and will make an even better father. Amber is lucky to have you as her father." Naruto smiled a true smile, one he had not had since the wedding. He said, "No, I am lucky to have her as a daughter. I sense there is something else you want to ask, so what is it?" Anko said, "I was with Kurenai yesterday when we heard what you said. She then went looking for you. So how did it go?" Naruto then told Anko what had happened and all that he felt. Anko smiled and said, "I am happy for you. She is the right one for you. Just don't hurt her." Naruto said, "I would never hurt her, I care about her too much. She called herself my girlfriend. I will never hurt my girlfriend. I am not saying I won't do something stupid. I am a guy after all." Anko hugged him and said, "She will not do what the wide-eyed stupid girl did. Give Kurenai a chance and you both will be happy." Naruto said, "I know, I look forward to our date." Anko said, "If you need someone to watch Amber, I am all for it." Anko said, "I don't want to ruin the happy moment. How come you have not talked with Sasuke much?" Naruto said, "Once a thief, always a thief. I don't trust him at all. If he hurts my sister, I will rip his eyes out. If he hurts my daughter, I will let the foxes rip him apart." Anko said, "So I was right, you really don't want him around." Naruto said, "I should have guessed you would have seen through my mask. My so-called friends did not. It gets me mad. After all he did and all the people he hurt and killed, he got off without even a slap on wrist." He took a pause to control his anger before saying, "If anyone else did that, they would be put to death. If I even thought about leaving this village, the hunter ninja would be sent after me before I could make it to the gate." Anko said, "If it makes you feel better, Kurenai saw through the mask as well. I think on some level Amber sees through it as well." Naruto says, "Why is it after all the good I have done, I still feel like I am struggling to have just a small piece of happiness? Is it so wrong for me to want to be happy?" Anko asked. "What about Sakura?" Naruto said, "She is too loyal to Sasuke. I don't trust her or him." Anko said, "Well, you got me, Iruka, your grandmother and Kurenai on your side, plus all your friends and allies out of the village." Naruto said, "It is wrong that all my friends are outside the village. Oh well. The girls are still asleep. I am going to let them sleep for now and I will start training tomorrow." Anko said, "What are you going to teach them?" Naruto answered, "I am not going to teach them how to draw chakra right now. I will teach them more of the physical stuff. I am aiming mostly right now to get them stronger and able to do it. I want them to be kids for now." Anko did not ask, but she knew that Naruto wanted his daughter to have the childhood he never had. That was why he got her the toys. He never had any toys growing up. He vowed his daughter would not have that. Meanwhile, in the forest on the way to her mission, Kurenai had stopped for the night. I said, "I did not say this before, but I think it is best to say it now." The small fox grew to the size of a large horse and got right in Kurenai's face before saying, "If you hurt him in any way, shape or form, then we will feast on your flesh." Kurenai was a little shaken up by that. Okay, she was very much shaken up by that. She said after her heartbeat had returned to normal, "I will not hurt him. I care about him too much. I have not known him long, but I feel like there is a connection with him. I think I may be in love with him." I said, "I know you will not hurt him. It is my job as his sister to be protective." "You thought Anko and I are scary. Don't piss off Midnight. When she is mad, even the nine-tailed fox is scared. Now let's get this mission done." Naruto thought back to the last 3 weeks. Rose and Amber got up the next morning after the emotional roller coaster and they started to train. Naruto first wanted to test them out and see what he was working with. He knew they were young, but he had been surprised before, so it was better to get all the details he could first. So he had the girls do some push-ups and sit-ups and run laps. He also had them do punches and kicks. All in all, the girls did very well with the test. After that was over, he had them practice throwing kunai and shuriken and senbon. They had a hard time with the throwing weapons and it took them the whole 3 weeks to get them even close to the target. As of right now, they could not hit the targets all the time. They could throw them, but the aim was bad. However, they were 4, so for 4-year-olds they did well. As the 3 weeks went by for the other exercises, the girls got better. At this point they could each do 500 sit-ups and push-ups. They could run 7 laps around Naruto's house without stopping. Each lap was a quarter of a mile. So they could almost run 2 miles non-stop. As for the punches and kicks, they could each do 150 without stopping. At the end of each day, the girls were exhausted. They did this routine for a week and then Naruto switched it up. He made them do less exercise and focus more on throwing weapons. He also taught them some of the fighting styles. He taught them a few basic combinations. They were still working on mastering them. Overall, Naruto was proud of the girls. He was really proud of Amber. Over the 3 weeks the bond the two had only grew. It got to the point that both felt as if they always had been father and daughter. As for Rose, she still was worried about losing her mother, but she was happy to have Naruto in her life. She secretly hoped that someday he would be her daddy. The other thing that was different was the talk between Tsunade and Naruto. It was a shadow clone of Naruto, but that is beside the point. At first the old fire shadow was not happy about the requests. She was not happy at all. However, Naruto was able to convince her. Flashback. Naruto, while he was training the girl, sent a clone to speak with Tsunade. Tsunade knew right away something was off with her son. She said very gently, "What is troubling you, Naruto?" Naruto sighed and said, "Boss has a few requests for you." Tsunade knew now she was speaking to a shadow clone. She asked, "Why not wait until I get home?" For this part the clone will be called Naruto. Since he is Naruto. Naruto said, "It is better this way. The first is we would like information on Amber's father. We want him watched to make sure that he does not try to harm Amber." Tsunade expected this and was happy to do it. To be truthful, she had already started. Amber may not be her granddaughter by birth, but the little girl had already warmed her way into the old lady's heart. She would never let anyone harm Amber. So it would be a very cold day in hell before Tsunade allowed Amber's birth father to have any contact with the girl. Tsunade said, "That is easy, I have already started that when he told me. What is your next request?" Naruto said, "The next ones are going to be hard, but I ask that you please do it." This worried Tsunade greatly. She knew Naruto never did anything without reason, so she waited. In her mind a lot of different ideals were going on. Each one was getting odder. However, his next word she never saw coming. Naruto said, "I would like it from now on if only you or Shizune give Amber a checkup. I do not want Sakura doing it." Tsunade was dumbfounded. Her first instinct was to yell and ask him what the hell. However, after the war she stopped yelling so much. She waited to hear him out. So instead she asked, "Why? I thought she was your friend." Naruto said, "She is a friend, I will not deny that. However, I don't trust Sasuke." Tsunade said with some anger laced in her voice. However, the anger was overshadowed by confusion. "Okay, I can accept that, but why not Sakura? She will never harm a child." Naruto said without missing a beat and without any emotion at all in his voice. "If Sasuke tells her to, she will. I have seen it in her eyes. She is way too loyal to him. She will do anything he tells her to do. Her hair is so short since he ordered her to cut it." Naruto took a pause before saying, "As to why she did it yesterday, I had no choice." Tsunade could not argue what he said since it was true. She said, "So you think Sasuke might harm Amber? I thought you had forgiven him and made peace with him." Naruto said, "I have. That does not mean I trust him at all. I don't trust him to not try and hurt my family. As long as Sakura is married to him, I do not want her dealing with my daughter in any medical setting unless it is absolutely necessary." Tsunade asked, "Why don't you trust him?" Naruto said, "Once a snake always a snake. He got no punishment at all. He was given everything on a golden platter after all the crimes he had committed. After all the people he hurt and killed. It is like they did not matter. I know for many people on the council it does not." Tsunade now understood it from her son's point of view. She knew he was not jealousy, he was angry. To be truthful, Tsunade was just as angry, and she agreed with Naruto. She did not trust Sasuke at all. She said, "It will not be easy, but I agree and it shall be done. What is your next request?" Naruto said, "This is the last one. In a few months I wish to speak to the council. I have a way to honor Niji's last wish. I vowed to him that I would see it happen." Tsunade, knowing what he was talking about, just nodded her head and said, "Okay, whenever you want to speak I will give you the floor. You know it will cause more problems, right?" Naruto said, "Yes, I do, and part of me is hoping for it." The clone dispelled itself, giving the memories back to Naruto. Then flashback. Rose was really happy since she knew her mommy would be home soon. All the foxes could speak to each other. They had a mental link when they were on Earth. So Ice had informed Midnight that the two were on the way. Rose was looking forward to it. Kurenai and Ice were about 2 miles from the village. I said, "I must say that was a fun mission. I never knew grown men could cry like that." The mission was a teaching one. She had to teach people how to teach ninjutsu. Some of the guys that she met would hit on her. She ignored them since she had a boyfriend at home. She smiled when she thought boyfriend. The part that got her really mad was when one guy tried to kiss her and then feel her up. Let's just say Kurenai showed way she was the mistress of ninjutsu. She kept the guy trapped for 2 weeks. I said, "So I would like to ask. I will not hurt you this time. How are you feeling about a relationship with Naruto now that you have had 3 weeks to think about it?" Kurenai said without any hesitation. "I am happy. I want this relationship to work. I feel something with him I have never felt with anyone before. I said. Naruto is our master. He rather us call him brother since he hates the ideal of master and servant. We the foxes would gladly accept you as our mistress or sister. Our boss even likes you. Kurenai asked. Who is the boss? I smirked a very Naruto smirk and said. I am sure you can figure it out. Kurenai did, and after a few minutes she said. So Naruto can summon the nine-tailed fox. I said. Yes, his name is Kurama and he is a nice guy unless you piss him off. Kurenai was getting nervous, but she was not going to break off the relationship with Naruto. Picking up her speed she ran to the village and gave her report. Son said. Well, I am glad to see you back. So how did it go? I heard about the trapping a man in his nightmares. What did he do? Kurenai said. I told him I was not interested and I have a boyfriend. Both are true statements. So when he tried to force himself on me I took action. Swan said. I was not aware you were seeing anyone. It is not my business, but may I ask who it is? Kurenai smiled very nervously and said. It is Naruto. Our first date is set for when I get back. She took a pause before saying. Hopefully he will agree to have it tomorrow night since I wish to spend some time with Rose. Son said. He will agree now. I am sure you have been threatened by the foxes in Anko. To be honest, I am not sure who scares me more. Now it is time for my threat. I will see you die a most painful way if you hurt him. Kurenai said. I do not know if the relationship will work. I promise if it does not work I will let him down gently. I will not do what my former student did. Son said. I know, but as his mother or grandmother it is my right to threaten you. Be happy it is me and not Kushina. I remember she said she was looking forward to using the right to battle. Kurenai started to get really worried. In some clans the mother had the right to battle the woman her son wished to marry or in some cases date. In Naruto's clan's case this was true. Kurenai asked. If we were to marry would you invoke that? Son said. Most likely not, only if I had any doubts at all. At this moment I do have doubts. I have a lot of doubts. I hope if that time comes my doubts will be put to rest. She took a pause before saying. I like you Kurenai and I feel that Kushina would have liked you as well. However, I saw him after Hinata's words and it was not pretty. That was why I allowed the adoption to occur. Being with Amber has brought him out. I do not want to lose him again. The old fire shadow said after a short pause. Amber has made him the Naruto he is without the stupid mask we have all seen. She took a pause before saying. I know this is somewhat selfish on my side, but I already lost most of the people I care about. I won't lose the last few I have. Kurenai nodded her head that she understood. Swan changed from her serious and slightly depressed tone to her happy one as she said. Now go, your daughter misses you and will be happy to see you back. Naruto is happy as well. You are all he has talked about besides Amber. The last statement caused the former Ice Queen to blush. Swan said. Oh, by the way, in case he forgets to tell you. Naruto made Amber's guardian should he pass away on a mission. If you are not okay with it let me know and I shall change the will. Kurenai said. No, I am okay with it. In fact I am very okay with it. I hope it never happens, but I am okay with it. Kurenai and Ice went to Naruto's house. As Kurenai gets to the house she is tackled by her daughter. She said. I am really happy to see you mommy. Rose then fell asleep in her mom's arms. She was very tired. She had been pushing herself too hard again. Kurenai asked Naruto who had followed Rose out. Why is she so tired? Naruto said. She has been pushing herself too much, way too much. She was scared that you would not come back. Training has kept her mind off of missing you. Kurenai understood that, but she was confused. How come I never noticed her fear before? Naruto said. She was able to hide it well. I also think it only hits her when you are actually gone. She knows you are going a mission, but only gets scared once the mission starts and you are gone. Naruto then explained all that had happened during the 3 weeks with Kurenai's daughter. Kurenai asked after it was done. So it seems she has been doing pretty well for a 4-year-old. Naruto smiled and said. Yes, she has, you would be proud of her. Now I am guessing you wish to get her home, so I shall let you go. Kurenai said. I really don't want to walk home tonight, I am tired. Naruto said. If you wish you can stay here and I can make you some dinner if you wish. Kurenai really liked that thought. She kissed Naruto to let him know how much she liked that ideal. That and she wanted to kiss him once more. She went inside and gently put Rose to bed. Rose had stayed up late waiting for her mother. Amber was already in bed. Naruto made Kurenai some food and she happily ate it. Naruto then massaged her shoulders. Kurenai would have used him as a pillow again. She missed that on her mission. Sadly there was a knock on the door. An Anbu came in and told Naruto that he was needed at the Hokage tower. Kurenai said she would stay and watch Amber. Naruto got to the tower and was met by Tsunade. She said. I am sorry Naruto, but you are needed. A client has asked for you and the situation is dire. A lot of children have been kidnapped from Spring or Snow Country. Their daimyo Koyuki has asked for you and you alone." Naruto said. "She would never ask unless it was important, so give me an hour and I will leave." With a yellow flash he was back home. Kurenai had only known Naruto a short time, but she could tell that her boyfriend was nervous. Before she could ask he said. "In the land of Spring some children have been kidnapped and the daimyo is asking for my help." Kurenai said. "I will watch Amber until you get back." Naruto smiled and gently kissed her. He then woke up Amber. He did not want to leave without telling her goodbye. Amber knew something was wrong when her daddy woke her up. Naruto said. "My angel, I have been called on a mission. Some children have been kidnapped and I need to rescue them." Amber said very calmly. "Okay daddy, I love you, please be safe." She picked up a bracelet she made. She took it and gave it to her daddy and said. "Please wear this daddy and please be safe. I made this for you for good luck on your missions." Naruto hugged her very closely and said. "I promise I will come back to my angel. I love you and I will be safe." Be good for Auntie Kurenai and Auntie Anko and Grandma. With one more hug from his daughter and a kiss from his girlfriend he was off into the night. It was a long run to Spring Country. It would take him at least 2 days to get to the port and a few more to get to the country itself. He only hoped he was not too late to save the children. After Naruto left on his mission, Amber said in a voice that was both scared but also accepting. "Auntie, please hold me tonight." Kurenai did not have the heart to tell the little girl no. So she picked up Amber and picked up Rose. She then went to the bed and pulled both girls to her and the two fell asleep. Kurenai was able to fall asleep so fast since she was very tired and the bed she used was Naruto's and it had his scent on it. It brought her peace. The next morning the three got up and Kurenai made food for the girls. Tsunade was there. She hugged Amber and said. "If you need me then come to my office and stay with me. Your daddy will come back." Tsunade left and once she did Amber broke down crying and she cried hard. Kurenai did the only thing she could do and that was to hold the girl close to her. In between sobs Amber mentioned how she was scared that her daddy would not come back. Kurenai said after an hour and the girl had stopped crying. "Your daddy will come back. He has gone on many dangerous missions and each and every one he has come back alive. That was before he adopted you and he had nothing to come home to." Kurenai took a pause before saying. "Now he has you, which means he will fight harder." This made Amber feel a lot better. She said. "Can you tell me a story about daddy?" Kurenai pulled Rose to her and told a few stories well into the afternoon and night. Kurenai ordered some takeout and the girls had food and went to bed. Ruby had grown to a bigger size and curled up with Amber covering the little girl with her tail. Swan got home that night and asked how Amber was. Kurenai said. "As soon as you left she started to cry." Kurenai then told everything that had happened. Swan said. "Well, you have earned more points in my book. She is strong just like her dad." Kurenai said. "Yes, I agree, she will be a great ninja someday." She took a pause and gathered up all the courage she had in her. She said. "Naruto's greatest wish is to have a family of his own. He wants a wife with kids. I will be honest. At this point I could see myself as his wife. However, after the final battle I was told that there might be a chance that I could not have kids. Can you please do a test to see if that is true? I will pay for it." Tsunade was not expecting this at all. She had mixed feelings about it, however. On the one hand she did not want to think about Naruto having children. Actually, him having kids did not bother her. Thinking about him having naughty things did. However, she was glad that Kurenai was thinking about Naruto. She said. "That is easy to do, and by the way you have just killed many of my doubts." Swan took some blood and sealed it so she could test it later. It had been 6 days since Naruto left the village and he had finally made it to Spring Country. The whole time he did not speak unless he needed to. After getting off the dock he ran with Midnight to the castle of Koyuki. She had helped the Leaf village recover after the war. She sent medics and other supplies to aid in the war effort. She had not ninja to send so she sent what she could. Koyuki was not happy. She had gotten word from a group of bandits terrorists that threatened to kill children if she did not leave the country. In all 50 children's lives were in the balance. No one in her country wanted her gone. They all wanted her as their leader. She called the one person that she knew would not fail in getting the children back. She called the man she respected and loved. She called Naruto. Yes, you read right, she loved Naruto with all her heart. She had gotten word of the adoption and was asked if she would provide support for it in case Naruto was challenged. She did not hesitate at all. She was waiting in her throne room when a guard came up to her and bowed. He said. "My Princess Naruto and a small black fox are here." Koyuki said. "Well then let him in already so he can go and help the children." Naruto came and he did not bow since it was not needed. The last time he bowed before Koyuki she smacked him on the head and told him to never bow to her again. Koyuki said. "I am glad you are here, my friend. You know what has occurred, when can you get started?" Naruto said. I need something for one of the kids, do you have anything like that? The guard walked up and pulled out a doll from his jacket and said, Lord Naruto, this is my daughter's favorite doll. Midnight started to sniff it and she said, they are 10 miles from here. Naruto then started to do hand signs, and once he was done he slammed his hands on the ground and shouted, summoning. Massive fox army. A puff of smoke was seen, and about 50 foxes were all there. Without a word Naruto and his foxes ran to get the children. The same guard that gave the doll said, my princess, I am sorry to be rude, but we need an army to get the children back. Koyuki smiled and said, I just sent one. Thanks to Omega Archer for that line. She said in her head after he left. Be careful, Naruto. Naruto and the foxes were on a mission. The foxes were what humans would call demons. However, there were some things that to them were unforgivable. Rape was one of them. If anyone in their clan had committed that crime, they were put to death without any thought. The other was child abuse or hurting children in any shape or form. So for over 50 children to have been kidnapped and taken hostage was making their blood boil. After about 2 hours they got to the camp. It was set up very nicely, and Naruto was a little more nervous. This was not some random weak bandits. Well, he thought many of them are most likely weak, they must have a good leader. The camp was set up in such a way that there was only one entrance, and it was heavily watched and guarded. Naruto said, Shadow, please come here. I need your talents. A small black fox appeared before her brother. She was lighter colored than Midnight, but she was still black. She was very fast and the one that had the best stealth in the clan. If she wanted to, she could hide right in front of your face and you would still not see her. She did that a few times to mess with people. She jumped on her brother's shoulder and said, should I do the usual? Naruto said, that is why I asked for your help. With a smirk she was off. Midnight said, I think she enjoys her job a little too much. Naruto laughed and said, there is no thought that she does enjoy it a little too much. They heard a voice say. So I enjoy my job, at least I am not like Anko who enjoys making grown men cry like little girls. Shadow had returned. The other foxes all gathered around. A few stood guard but were listening to what Shadow was going to say. She said, okay, I found all the children. They are all in a large cage, a really large cage. The good news is that I could not find any signs of any child being killed. All the others were happy to hear that news. Shadow said, okay, the bad news is there are over 300 bandits. 30 of them are ninjas. None of them are of any importance at all. The highest ranking is on the same level as Kiba was during your fight in the exams, brother. Naruto said. Okay, here is what we do. Midnight, please go back and get some medics. We will await your return. Once then I want the children to go to sleep so they do not witness what will happen. Then the rest we will give the bandits time to surrender peacefully. If they do not, then we kill them. Another 4 hours went by before Midnight returned with the medics. Naruto during this time had made a plan. There were 10 medics and all of them were good. All of them knew Naruto and were at the final battle healing the wounded. All 10 respected Naruto, so they all listened to what he had to say without question. Naruto had 10 foxes stay with the medics. The thought was if they needed to leave in a hurry, then the foxes would be able to teleport out of the battlefield. Naruto had the other foxes go and hide. Midnight was on his shoulders and the two started to walk to the camp. Naruto said to the ones on guard duty, I wish to speak to the leader. Now I know everyone is thinking that he has lost his mind. However, this was Naruto and he knew what he was doing. His sisters at this point did not even question his mental process anymore. They just went with whatever he said. Naruto had mastered the fox's sage mode really fast. Much faster than he mastered the toad sage mode. Plus he looked so much cooler as the fox sage. He would even go far as to say he looked really handsome. He was wounded if Kurenai would think that. The leader came up to Naruto. He was a very tall man, about 6 feet. He towers over Naruto. He had long brown hair and brown eyes. He had some scars over his face. He had a headband with the Cloud Village symbol on it. This one had a scratch going through the symbol marking this guy as a missing ninja. The leader said, well, if it is not the war hero, what do you want? Naruto smiled and said, well, I was hoping you would let the children go. If you do, I will not wipe out you and your forces. This caused the 300 bandits to laugh. Naruto said, did I miss a funny joke? You know it is not nice to leave people out of jokes. It is considered to be rude. The leader said, you are outnumbered, we can kill you, and then we will be famous beyond all reason. Midnight said, phase 1 is complete, all the children are asleep, they will not see what is about to happen. The leader was confused, so Naruto, being the nice guy he is, said, I did not want to cause the children nightmares, so I had them take a nap. Now it is time for you all to die. I gave you fair warning. He drew his sword and made the come hither gesture. 5 guys ran up to him. He dodged all 5 of their blades and slashed them all. All 5 were dead before they hit the ground. He said, really, is that all you got? I am very bored. This only served to enrage the bandits. The foxes were having a great time. Some of the bandits thought they would have an easy time if they attacked the foxes. That was a big mistake. Unlike other summoned animals, these foxes knew how to battle and were very good at it. Their claws soon ended many lives. After about 5 minutes only 15 were left alive. Naruto then said to the leader. Now since I am a nice guy and all, I will give you one more chance. Surrender and I will spare your lives. Needless to say, he wasted his time saying his words. He said to his sisters. Get the children to the medics, this will not take long. Each of the foxes grew to the size of a horse and gently picked up a child with their tails and brought them over to the medics. The bandits tried to stop the foxes, but Naruto stopped them. He said very calmly. Your fight is with me. If you want them, you have to get past me. The bandits all charged thinking they could get Naruto. In their minds 15-1 were good odds. How sad, Naruto thought. With his sword he slashed at all of them and all fell to the ground dead. He then sealed up the bodies of all the bandits. Many of them had bounties and he could use the money to get something nice for his loved ones. Naruto returned to the medics. One of them insisted that he check on Naruto. Naruto of course was fine. He said. Okay, I am fine, my sisters are fine. Now how about the children, how are they? The lead medic said. They are okay, none of them have been hurt at all. They have been well fed and taken care of. Naruto said. Okay, then let's go back and reunite all the children with their parents. It took the whole group another 3 hours to get back to the castle. Koyuki had gotten the parents to come to the castle. She had faith that Naruto would succeed. She got word from her troops that a small army of foxes were coming with the children. All the children woke up and were reunited with their parents. This made Naruto smile and made him think of Amber. He wanted to leave right away. However, he was forbidden from using the flying thunder god unless it was necessary. Koyuki told him she would have her fastest boat ready in the morning. So he was forced to stay. He was given food by Koyuki and the two just talked. She said. So when can I meet your daughter? Naruto said. Well, she really wants to meet you. She is a huge fan of your movies. After that the two went to bed after talking some more about useless stuff. The morning he left, Koyuki hugged him and said. I know you have a girlfriend right now since you talked so much about her last night. She took a pause before saying. However, if it does not work out, I will gladly be your wife and give you what you want. Also, if you or your family ever need a home, you will always have it in spring. She hugged him and he left to go home. He made the trip home in the same time it took. The whole time he thought about Koyuki and what she offered. However, once he got home he forgot about the first offer. He only thought about the protection for his family. He had some gifts for his daughter and girlfriend's daughter. Kurenai thought back to the last week. She got a chance to get to know Amber a little better. She really liked the little girl and wondered what it would be like if she was Amber's mother. She also got to spend more quality time with her daughter. Ninja training was doing wonders for that. Naruto had left detailed notes on what he had done, so it was easy to continue with the training. They got word from Ice that Naruto was about 6 hours away and closing in. Kurenai thought back to a conversation she had 6 days ago. It was one that changed her life and made her very happy. It was with Tsunade and it had to do with Kurenai and her having more children of her own. Flashback. Kurenai had just put the girls to bed. They shared a room. It was not due to lack of rooms. They were in Naruto's house and there were a lot of rooms. The reason was the girls liked being in the same room. It brought them some peace that they needed. Kurenai told the girls a bedtime story. However, she was nowhere near as good as Naruto was at it. He seemed to have talent for telling stories. Kurenai went to drink some tea. She found it odd that she did not miss her old place. She liked living in Naruto's house. It felt like home. When he got back she was going to see about moving in. She knows that it is very fast, but it just felt right. Tsunade came home from being in the office. She had news for Kurenai. She said. Well, I have some news for you. I ran the test 7 times. Each time I got the same results. Kurenai, the medic that examined you after the battle, was wrong. He or she was so very wrong it is not funny. The old fire shadow took a pause to catch her breath before saying. You are fertile. No, actual, you are very fertile. I have seen and done this test 1,000 times. However, I have never, and I mean never, seen a woman that is as fertile as you are. Kurenai smiled and bowed her head and said. Thank you for doing this test. How much do I owe you? Tsunade said. You owe me nothing. If you do marry Naruto and give him kids, make sure I have access to them. By the way, if you were unable to have children, Naruto would have still married you if he loved you. You too could have adopted. Kurenai said. I know, but I can't explain why. I wanted to know. I just don't understand how it is possible. I was hurt pretty badly and was told that. Swan said. I have only one thought. Someone up above is looking after you and Naruto. She took a pause before saying. If you two should marry, I will not battle you. I have no more doubts, Kurenai. I see that you love him. Even if you do not know what you feel. Tsunade said. One more thing, it is about Sakura and the others in his group. Kurenai said. I know he does not trust them, so he does not want Amber around them if it can be prevented. He also does not want Sakura dealing with Amber in any medical way unless her life is in danger. Tsunade was in shock that Kurenai knew this. The red-eyed one smiled and said. We talked about it before I left. He asked my advice on doing what he did. I agreed with him. That group needs to earn trust. I don't trust any of them, that is why I don't let them near Rose. Then flashback. Kurenai was really happy to hear that Naruto was on his way home. She was also happy to hear that she could have more children if she wanted. The girls were tired, so she put them to bed. She stayed up to wait for her boyfriend. Up above, a few figures were watching. Kurama was also speaking to Kami, and he was just told some things. He took one of his claws and cleaned out his ears before saying. Could you please repeat that? I must have misheard you. Kami smiled and said. I am going to see to it that he has another mate. Maybe in the next few hundred years I will give him more. This one is perfect. All she needs is a little battle training. Kurama said. Okay, I agree she is a good mate, but I did not figure you would agree with him having two mates. He will not agree with him having two mates. Kami said. I know, but it will work out. Now one more thing, when the time comes there will be 3 little girls that I want you to make immortal. Kami then outlined the plan to the 9-tailed fox lord. He was in shock, but then he started to laugh. He liked this new plan, he really liked this new plan a lot. He said. Well, my lady, I did not know you had this side of you. I am impressed. This is going to be fun. This will be like giving the bird to the wide-eyed one. It is evil and underhanded and a prank worthy of a fox and of Naruto. Kami sweet dropped as she said. Only you would find this fun. They heard a voice say. No, this is fun. However, having my granddaughters get hurt is not fun for me. I hope you will allow revenge. Kami smiled and said. Of course I will, Kushina. I may even let you join in, you as well, Kurama. Both smiled at that, and it was not a friendly smile, it was the I am going to destroy you and enjoy doing it smile. This smile was really scaring Kami, and I mean really scaring her. She was starting to have second thoughts about allowing these two their revenge on the Leaf Village. Naruto had made it home. He was a little tried, but he was happy to be home. For the first time since his return from his training trip, he was truly happy to be home. He now had a reason to be home. He had someone that loved him and wanted him to be home. He had his daughter and his girlfriend. Tomorrow night he had a date with his girlfriend. He made it to the Hokage office and was given a bone-breaking hug. He actually heard his bones being broken. Naruto gave the report as his grandmother was healing his bones. She had finished up her work, so the two left to go home. Naruto said. Has anyone tried to contact Amber? Tsunade said. I do not think so. Kurenai will know for sure. The duo made it home, and Naruto was greeted with a hug and a kiss from Kurenai. Tsunade walked to her room and went to sleep. Naruto went to give Amber a kiss on the forehead. He promised her that whenever he went out of the village on a mission he would give her a kiss once he returned. Kurenai said. Can you please hold me tonight, I have missed it. Naruto smiled at his answer. He got to his room and noticed that someone had been sleeping in his bed. Kurenai, seeing this, said. I am sorry, it smelt like you and I have not slept this well in many years. Are you upset or creeped out? Naruto smiled and gently kissed her before saying. No, not at all. I find it cute. So the couple went to bed both feeling really good. Naruto did in fact hold Kurenai in his arms. Naruto got up the next morning and went to make breakfast. Kurenai helped him. She asked. Naruto, I know this is sudden and I know we have not been dating long. However, this feels right, it feels wonderful. She took a pause to gather her courage before saying. Can we move in with you, please? Naruto thought about it and said. You are a smart person, so if you think it is a good idea at this stage, then I will trust you. I don't feel like we are rushing things. It just feels right. I am not sure I can explain it. Kurenai asked. So where are we going on our date tonight? Naruto smiled and said. Well, I was thinking about a nice picnic under the stars. I know a secret spot that is perfect. Kurenai liked that idea. She knew he was not trying to be cheap. Naruto did not trust many of the restaurants at all. Only a few of them he trusted, but they were not worthy of a first date. The picnic was simple, but she liked it. Rose and Amber walked into the room to get their food. Both girls are tired. So it took them until Naruto handed them their food for them to react and notice that he was home. With a shout of Daddy, Naruto was tackled to the ground and a hug from his daughter. He said. I missed you as well, my angel. I got you and Rose a gift. This comes from a friend of mine. He gave each girl a Princess Gale doll. Both girls hugged him and thanked him. Amber said. Daddy, how did you get these dolls? They are hard to find. Naruto smiled and said. Well, Princess Gale is a friend of mine. She can't wait to meet you, Amber. She helped make sure I could adopt you. Amber asked. Why would you not be able to adopt me? Naruto said. When I was born my father sealed the nine-tailed fox into me. The people in this village have hated me ever since. Only a few like me and treat me like a person. The council has tried to prevent me from being happy. One person has made it a goal to see me suffer. Amber hugged her father tighter and said, I know you are not the fox daddy. You are not a monster, you are too nice for that. A demon would not take care of a child. A demon would have hurt the ones that hurted. Naruto pulled her into a very tight hug and said, thank you my angel, that means a lot to me. Rose hugged him as well. She said, I know as well that you are not a demon. Demons do not treat others with kindness. Demons only worry about themselves. You always put others first. Naruto hugged her and said, thank you Rose, that means a lot to me. I promise I will always protect you both and take care of you both. Naruto sealed the house up. The girls got up and stood to the side. He said, Grandma, Kurenai, Amber and Rose, I must show you something. Tsunade came and Naruto got up from the floor. He said, after the final battle, Kurama, the nine-tailed fox gave me a few gifts. He gave me the fox contract and these. He raised hands and muttered. In a puff of smoke Naruto appeared, but with fox ears and two fox tails, both were red. He said, he made me a fox demon and immortal. Anyone I mate with will become like this. I understand if anyone wishes to have me gone. He was tackled with a hug from Amber and Rose. Kurenai gently hugged and kissed him. Swan gently hugged him as well. Kurenai said, I think Amber said it so well a few minutes ago. You are not a monster and you are not dangerous. It is going to take a lot more than this to get me to break up with you. She then gave him a loving kiss. Amber just hugged her dad tighter. She said, I love you dad, you have protected me and have taken care of me. You always will, nothing will make me want to be away from you forever. Rose just hugged him, not really knowing what to say that had already been said. San said, well this is odd but not unexpected, so I am good with it. The girls promised not to tell the secret. Naruto then cried because he was so happy. Kurenai left to go and get packed and get her stuff moved to Naruto's. She was also getting ready for her date. Rose said, Mommy, who is watching Amber and I when you are on your date? Kurenai said, Swan and Auntie Anko, so I want you to be good for them. Rose said, okay, I will be a good girl. Are we moving in with Uncle Naruto? Kurenai said, yes we are. I know it is fast, it just feels right. Rose said, okay mommy, I trust you. Ice was nearby and helping Kurenai get ready for her date. She said, you are dressing up too much. Wear what make you comfortable. Kurenai said, okay, what about makeup? I said, you don't wear it normally and that is what attracted him in the first place. It was your natural beauty. If you want some makeup, a little eyeshadow is all that you need, one that will really bring out your eye color. She paused before saying, he really likes your eyes. I said after a while. Midnight wants me to tell a little secret about Naruto that you can use to your advantage. She did not know if you were worthy yet. She feels you are worthy. If you want Naruto to relax or have him be putty in your hands, just scratch behind his ears, his fox ears. That will relax him and have him as putty in your hands. Back with Naruto, he was also getting ready for his date. He was making food. He could have had a clone do it, but he wanted to do it himself. It felt better if he did it himself. He was getting dressed in some nice cloths. Midnight said, I think you clean up nicely bro. Ice is telling me that Kurenai is going to knock you dead with her beauty. Naruto said, I don't see how she can be even more beautiful than she already is. His sister gave a knowing smirk as if she was saying, you will see. Amber asked, Daddy, who is watching Rose and me tonight? Naruto said, besides the foxes it will be Grandma and Auntie Anko. Amber asked, are they moving in with us? Naruto said, yes they are, I know it is fast, but it feels right. Amber hugged her dad. She then helped him get ready for his date. Anko arrived and said, so here is one short person that I get to watch, so where is the other short person? Kurenai arrived right then, and Midnight was right, Kurenai looked even more beautiful than she did before. She had a simple summer dress that fit her perfectly and she wore no makeup, except the eyeshadow that seemed to highlight and bring more attention to her eyes. Naruto said, I thought my sister was kidding. I did not know how you could get more beautiful, but you did. This caused Kurenai to smile and blush. San came home and told the couple to get out and have a good time on their date. She finished by saying, that is an order. Once they had left, San pulled out the takeout she had ordered and gave it to everyone. She then pulled out a crystal orb. Anko said, are you really using that orb to spy on them? San said, you mean you don't want to watch? Anko said, oh no, I want to watch very much. Amber said, Grandma, Auntie, they will be mad if they find out. Anko said, true, but it is worth it. You are not going to tell on us, are you? Amber looked in her aunt's eyes and said, only if Daddy asks me, I will not lie to Daddy. San said, Well, it is totally worth a risk, how about betting on Anko? Anko said. I am sorry, but that I will draw the line on. I will not bet on my brother's and best friend's date. Tsunade said. Okay, suit yourself. Now let us watch them, shall we? The group did just that. Amber, Rose, Tsunade, Anko and the various foxes were watching the crystal ball and spying on Naruto and Kurenai. I said to Midnight. So what do we do? Do we warn them or let the fireworks happen? Midnight said. I think Amber has a good idea. Only tell if asked about it. I said. That is sneaky, underhanded and worthy of a fox. Midnight said. What can I say, that is why I am his personal summon. You see, each fox that was partnered with a human had similar personalities. So Midnight was the fox version of Naruto. Ice was the fox version of Kurenai, Lighting was for Rose, and Ruby was for Amber. Tsunade said. So there is another one that is like Naruto. I think I am scared. Midnight cuddled up with Tsunade and said. You do not have to worry, Grandma, we like you. Hurt our family, then you will die most painfully. That caused the two older women in the room to shake. Naruto and Kurenai were walking to the picnic spot. Naruto took his girlfriend's hand in one of his hands and held the basket with the food and blanket in the other hand. Naruto said. We are being spied on. My grandmother has the crystal ball thing and she is watching us. I am guessing Anko is as well. Kurenai says. I will deal with Anko later. Right now let us forget about them and enjoy the date. I have been looking forward to it for a month. Naruto smiled and said. Then I hope I don't disappoint you. The couple walked to the top of the Hokage mountain and over into the forest. They walked for about half a mile and found a small clearing that had a pond with a large waterfall. You could see the stars. In all, it was an amazing sight. Kurenai asked. How did you find this place? Naruto said. After the war, one found it and it has helped me. Plus it is such a beautiful place that I thought it was perfect for a date. I know nothing about dating and I mean nothing. Kurenai smiled and said. Neither do it. Naruto smiled at that and said. Well then let us learn together. He placed a blanket on the ground and sat down on it. Kurenai cuddled into his chest and both looked at the stars. Kurenai asked. How come you did not ask about my lack of knowledge on dating? Naruto said. I guessed that you never really dated Asuma. Kurenai said. I thought I hid that well. How did you figure it out? I am not mad, I am just curious. Naruto said. A few things gave it away. One being at his funeral you did not act like you lost someone close. You did cry, but I am guessing it was not because it hit you but for another reason. He took a pause before saying. Plus he did not leave anything to you in his will to help care for his daughter. I looked at the records. My grandmother gave me a test to sneak into the record vaults. I learned a lot of information that day. He took a pause before saying. She learned that she should not bet against me. Kurenai said. Wow, it is all true. We had a one-night stand. Or at least I was very drunk at the time. I cried at his funeral because Rose lost her father and I knew that would hurt her very much. When he discovered that I was pregnant he wanted nothing to do with me or Rose. He actually wanted me to get rid of Rose. Kurenai took a pause and said. I know you may be wondering if I ever wished I never had Rose. Naruto said. No, I am not, since I know for a fact that you love her dearly and she is your world and she means everything to you. Kurenai said. I was becoming an emotionless weapon and it was scary. Rose brought me out of that. I vowed when I was carrying her that I would always love her and do my best to take care of her. She means as much to me as Amber does to you. Naruto pulled her closer to him and said. Let it out, I know you want to. I will not judge you. I love you, Kurenai, and nothing will make me think of you badly. So Kurenai did just that. She started to cry softly, letting go of all the emotions she had been holding in. She cried into Naruto's chest as he held her and whispered soft words of love to her. After about an hour she was done crying. She then gently kissed him and said. Thank you so much, I really needed to do that. Naruto then pulled out the basket and gave her the food he made. Kurenai really enjoyed his cooking. She could get used to him cooking for her every night. It was then that her mind heard something he said. She put her head on his chest again and said. Did you mean it? Naruto asked. Did I mean what? Kurenai said. That you love me. Naruto said. Yes, I meant every word of it. I always had a crush on you. What straight guy or lesbian woman would not? He took a pause before saying. At the start I just ignored it. Since I figured nothing would come of it. However, I got the chance to know you and my feelings for you started to get deeper. He took a pause to catch his breath before saying. When you told me that you were not leaving after I told you my secret, I knew for a fact that I loved you. I am sorry if it made you uncomfortable. Kurenai grabbed him and kissed him once more. She said. No, it does not make me uncomfortable. In fact, it makes me feel really happy, for I love you to Naruto. This caused the spies to smile and cry. Tsunade was crying, she was so happy for her son. Anko said. That was the sweetest thing I have ever heard. I wish Iruka was that sweet to me. Amber and Rose were off to the side talking. They had heard everything. Rose was not upset at her mother's words. She knew the truth. Her mother told her the truth. It was hard for Rose to handle it, but she did. The next day she played with Naruto, so she was able to get better. Amber said. It seems like it may happen. I did not expect them to move this fast. Rose said. I know, but it seems to be working and they are happy. Back with Naruto and Kurenai, the couple were just cuddling together. Kurenai was getting a little cold. So Naruto took out another blanket and covered her with it. He said. If you want we can go back. Kurenai said. I don't want to. I am enjoying this way too much. It is so peaceful. Naruto said. I agree. I think we should take the girls out here one night. Kurenai smiled and said. That is a great idea. They will love it. The couple stayed that way for about an hour. Naruto said. Are you not worried about Hinata and what she will try to do to Rose? Kurenai said. A parent always worries about their child. I know you will destroy her if anything happens to Rose. So I am not worried. Naruto said. Okay, I would understand if you were. I don't trust her or the others. I know it is wrong to think that, but I just don't. Kurenai gently kissed him. She found that she really enjoyed kissing Naruto and she enjoyed when he kissed her. She said. To me, no, it is not wrong. They have all proven time and time again they can't be trusted on missions, yes, but with your daughter, no. Naruto cleaned up the food and then gently picked up Kurenai bridal style and started to walk home. Both were getting tired and cold. Kurenai said. I can walk, you don't need to carry me. At this Naruto smiled and said. I can put you down if you wish. Kurenai snuggled into his chest and said. No, you better not put me down. Naruto smiled and gently kissed her before saying. As long as you want me to, I will never put you down or let you go. Up above, Kushina had been watching the date. Kurama and Kami were watching the date as well. Kurama said. I find it odd that we have nothing better to do than to spy on Naruto and his date. Kushina said. It was your idea, my friend. They are so cute together, they will make such wonderful grandkids for me. She then started rambling on about how cute the scene was and stuff. It caused the two immortal beings to back away really slowly. Kami said. How did you manage being inside her? Kurama said. She ignored me most of the time, so it was easier. Kushina said. I am not that hard to get along with everyone. Now when will they be married? Kami said. If all goes well, less than a year. A few things have to happen first. In a few weeks it will be a lot of fun to watch the council meeting. I should sell tickets. Kushina said. Yes, I agree, it will be so much fun to watch. Back on Earth, the couple had gotten home. Kurenai had fallen asleep in Naruto's arms. He took her inside and to their bed. He then went back to put Amber and Rose to bed since they had fallen asleep as well. He kissed Amber on the forehead and went to talk to his grandmother and sister. He said to them. I know that you have been spying on us. Kurenai knows as well. I am not going to do anything about it since I am in a great mood, given that Kurenai said she loves me. The two seemed to be happy to hear that. Naruto then smirked and said. However, Kurenai may still want to deal with you. You both know how she enjoys messing with people that annoy her. He then bade them a good night and went upstairs and climbed into bed with his girlfriend. She latched onto him and put her head on his chest. She did this all while she was asleep. It had been 5 months since the first date. Both Naruto and Kurenai were happy with the relationship. Each week they would have, if they could have a date. They would go see a movie or go back to their spot. Sand was happy since it gave her an excuse to watch her granddaughter and the one she hoped would be her other granddaughter. Kurenai did not end up getting back on Anko for spying on her. She, like Naruto, was too happy. It was now time for Naruto to set his plan in motion that would get rid of the cage bird seal. It would not be easy, but it could and would be done. He knew it would work, he also knew it would be hard on him and the others. He kissed Kurenai and she wished him luck. Not that you needed. She added at the end. He then hugged Amber and kissed her forehead, and he hugged Rose as well. Midnight jumped on his shoulder and the two left for the council meeting. On the way she said. Remember, it is for Niji. Naruto smiled and said. Thanks sis, I needed that. Midnight knew this. She was just as nervous as her brother, and what she said was meant to reassure him as much as it was her. When Naruto left, Amber went to Kurenai and said. Auntie, why is daddy like this? I have never seen daddy like this. I hope he is okay. Amber called Kurenai auntie since she was not married to her daddy yet. Rose did the same for Naruto, except she called him uncle. Kurenai pulled Amber and Rose into a hug and said. Amber, your daddy is going up against one of the most powerful clans in the village. Amber said. I know daddy is trying to get the cage bird seal removed, but why is he so nervous about it? I know he can do it. Kurenai smiled and she kept on getting a reminder that Amber was very bright and very in tune with others. She said. Yes, he promised Niji that he would remove the seal. He also promised that he would remove the seal from Neji, but Neji died in the final battle. Kurenai took a pause and said, Neji died protecting Naruto, and he died with a smile on his face. Amber said, I know Daddy will do it. Daddy will not back down. No evil wide-eyed one will stop him. That comment caused the foxes to laugh and to laugh hard. It caused Kurenai to smile and Rose to smile as well. Anko was there as well, and it caused her to laugh so hard she felt her ribs cracking. Kurenai said, You are right Amber, and I think you have been hanging around Auntie Anko too much. Anko pretends to look offended by that statement. It was time for the council meeting. These meetings were held once a month, and whenever something of importance was needed to be discussed. Tsunade hated these meetings and hated them with a passion. However, today was going to be fun and she was going to enjoy it. She was smiling and that worried everyone in the room. Tsunade never smiled at these meetings. Sometimes she had a pretend one, but this one was a true one. Not only that, it was one that a hunter would have before it got its next kill. After about 6 hours of the useless stuff, and by useless stuff, the civilian is trying to make Naruto's life miserable and get more power, she said. Well, now that the civilians have had their chance to say the usual bullshit, let us get to the fun part. Now Hiashi, did you bring the clan members that were asked of you? The civilians did not like being made fun of. Hiashi said. Yes Lady Hokage, 15 members were picked at your request. Now I will call them in, and could you please tell me what you are planning? The 15 members all came in and one made Naruto mad. She was a little girl about Amber's age. So needless to say the father in him got mad. Tsunade said. Well, you see, I am not really in charge of that. Naruto, the floor is yours. Naruto bowed and said. Thank you. Now I know that the Hyuga clan is going to claim I can't do anything, since it is a clan matter. Under the laws, all clan matters cannot be messed with by the councilor Hokage. Hinata said with a smirk. That is right, so your plan to remove the seal will not work. It will be stopped by that law. Naruto smirked and said. True, and I am impressed you actually figured out what my goal was. However, there is another part of the law that many seem to forget, or they pretend it does not exist. Either way, I don't care. He took a dramatic pause before saying. Now a clan law can't be messed with unless the clan's practicer law puts the village in danger. Hiashi said. I am interested in seeing what you have to say, so I will not stop it. Hinata said. Father, this is madness, he can't get away with it. Hiashi said. No, I think we should listen. I personally do not like the seal. I have always hated it. It made me harm my brother and hurt my nephew. It has caused nothing but trouble. I wish I had gotten rid of it before. Naruto then said. The cage bird seal is a danger to the village, since most of the members of the branch family are a part of the Leaf Village's forces. He looked at the branch family members and said. I am sorry for what is about to happen. Midnight grew bigger and warped the little girl with her tail holding her close. She said. Hold on to me, little one, and everything will be okay. Do not let go until I tell you to. The little girl nodded that she understood and held on to the black fox with a death grip. Naruto then raised his hands and said one word, that was pain. All the members of the branch family started to grab their heads and scream in pain, for they have never felt that much pain before. Naruto then made it stop after a minute. He said. I am sorry, I have one more thing to do. He then raised his hands and said. Dance all as one. Expect the little girl started to dance. After Naruto stopped it, the branch family members were not doing very well. All of them looked exhausted and beaten. Midnight said. Brother, they have been hurt, the little one here has been hurt the worst. Hinata said. Her parents annoyed me, so I killed them. Her bloodline does not work, so she is weak. She is nothing more than cannon fodder. She will be a slave for life. Actually, I will kick her out of the compound and threaten anyone that adopts her. Naruto had to control his temper, but it was a losing battle. Somehow he was able to control it. However, he knew it was getting close to being lost. He said. Now you see the reason why it should be done. It only took me 3 days to crack the secret of the seal. Imagine if I wanted to, I could have taken control of the branch family and ordered them to kill the council members, and then the main family and order them to kill themselves, and no one would have known. Shikamaru asked. Why was the fox holding the little girl? Midnight, by the way, was still holding the girl, since the girl begged Midnight not to let her go. This broke the fox's heart, so of course she agreed and stayed put. Naruto said. She took the blow for the girl. The way I set it up, it affects all that are nearby, that much pain would have most likely killed her. It was Shikamaru that then said. As troublesome as this is to ask Naruto, how long have you had this power? Naruto said. 4 years I had this power. Now I do have a solution as to how to protect the bloodline of the Hyuga clan and all other bloodlines. He took a pause and said. Now my mother was from a powerful clan and they were masters of sealing. I have that power as well. Now they created a seal that will prevent the bloodline from being stolen, and on the person's death, it would destroy the bloodline. It will do what the cage bird seal did, minus the fact that you could cause pain to others, nor can you kill anyone with it. The Ashi and Sasuke stood up and said, I support this. All as one. The rest of the council supported the move. This caused Hinata to get really mad. She then activated the pain part of the seal and aimed it all at the little girl. Midnight was still holding on to the girl. Midnight removed the seal and placed a counter seal on the girl. Naruto said, okay, it has been done. My foxes have done it. Everyone in the village with a bloodline now has a new seal on them. The branch family members also have counter seals on them. Anyone attempting to place the old cage bird seal on them will die a most painful death. Hinata was sent home. Before she left she said, you will pay for that, I swear. The Ashi approached Naruto, who at this point had the little girl in his arms. She was holding on to him for dear life and crying, begging him to keep her safe. Ashi bowed as he said, I have a request for you. The little girl in your arms, if she returns to the compound, Hinata will kill her. I would like for you to adopt her. As the clan head, I can allow it. Naruto asked the little girl. How does that sound, little one? She spoke for the first time and said with a lot of fear but some hope as well. Will you be my daddy? Naruto smiled and said, of course, little one, you will even have a sister and a few aunts and a grandmother. The little girl hugged him and said, yes, I want a home and place to live. Please don't send me to the streets or back there. Naruto, still looking at her, asked, what is your name? She said, I am Crystal. Naruto said, okay then, Lord Hyuga, let's us go. Naruto went to Tsunade, and as soon as she heard what needed to be done, she signed the paperwork, and Naruto was now the father of Crystal. Tsunade said, I am assuming the same thing applies as it does for Amber, and I will be there later to give her a checkup. Naruto said, you are correct as always, Grandma. Anyway, I am going to go and take my daughter home. After what I just did, I need to hold my daughters and girlfriend. He walked out with Midnight by his side and Crystal on his shoulders. He got some food that everyone liked. He had asked Crystal what she liked. She liked ramen, and seeing the look on his face, the owners gave it to him on the house. They were glad to do it when they heard what happened. During the meeting, Kurenai was playing with the girls. They did not make them train too much. Naruto wanted his daughter to be a kid first. Kurenai wanted that as well. After a while, the three foxes started to growl and get really mad. Ice, who was the clammiest one of them, said she had gone too far. Ice then told what happened, expect Naruto adopting Crystal. She then said, Amber, my dear, you are going to have a sister soon. Your daddy adopted another little girl. She then explained Crystal's story. Amber said, okay then, I will be a good sister and help her as best as I can. Rose said, I will be a friend, she needs a friend right now. Kurenai was smiling at this. The girls were young but so mature and willing to help others. Anko said quietly to her friend, they are great children. The world is going to be a better place with them in it. Kurenai said, I agree 100%. Anko said, if you are uncomfortable with answering this, then tell me. Do you see yourself as Amber's mommy? Kurenai said, at times I catch myself seeing her as I do Rose. So yes, I do see myself as her mommy, and to answer your next question, no, I would not mind that and all that comes with it. Anko said, so if he asked you to marry him, you would say yes? Kurenai said, in a heartbeat I would. I love him and I never thought I would. I never thought I would feel this way about any man. I am so happy, Anko. Anko hugged her best friend and said, I know, and he is just as happy with you. They stopped talking since Naruto came home carrying ramen and a little girl on his shoulders. Naruto gently puts her down and she clings to his leg, afraid to leave him. Naruto says, Amber, this is Crystal, she is your sister now. Amber pulls her new sister into a hug and says, it is nice to meet you. I am glad I have a sister now. I will be here for you to help you if you need it. Rose hugged Crystal as well and said, I am not your sister, at least not yet, but I will be your friend as well. A small green fox appeared before Crystal and said, I am Forest, I am your partner now. I will never harm you. Crystal started to cry and she clung to Naruto. Naruto said, no one will harm you, little one. She can't harm you anymore. The whole group ate and Naruto then held all three girls. After Anko left, Naruto unleashed his tails. Crystal was okay with her daddy being a fox demon. Naruto warped the girls in his tails. He had 3 now, by the way. Kurenai rested on his chest. He did something that went against his nature and it hurt a lot. So holding the girls helped him feel better. The little ones had fallen asleep, so Naruto gently took them to the beds. The foxes cuddled up with their human friends. Kurenai and Naruto went to bed and Kurenai held Naruto as he cried. He hated himself for what he had to do. He knew it needed to be done, but it still hurt. It still hurts a lot and it always hurts. Naruto may have been a ninja and he had hurt people, however this was different. Kurenai understood it and she understood it very well. So she hugged him and told him to let it out. After a while Naruto kissed her, letting her know how much her actions meant to him and how much he loved her. She got the message loud and clear. She kissed him back, letting him know she understood. Crystal came in and asked if she could sleep with them. Crystal was unsure of Kurenai, but her daddy trusted her, so that was enough for the little girl. The adults pulled her to them and hugged her tightly, and the three fell asleep. Naruto was holding his new daughter and his girlfriend. Up above, Kushina was being held back by both Kami and Kurama. It was not an easy task at all. She may be dead and a human, but the two immortal beings were having a hard time controlling her. She kept saying, "Let me be the stupid girl so I won't hurt her too much." They had been watching the meeting and it was getting all of them mad. All of heaven was watching since they had nothing better to do. Ami said after they were able to clamp Kushina down, which took them 3 hours and about 17 angels to stop her. All of them, by the way, were in really bad shape. You can have your revenge soon. Plus soon Naruto will bring her down some more. It will be fun, a lot of fun. Also soon you can speak to your daughter-in-law. Kushina was okay after hearing this. She then went on about how cute her new granddaughter was. This caused everyone in heaven to sweet drop at the oddness of Kushina. They were scared of her even more. Swan had gotten home and it was late. She wanted to do a checkup on her new granddaughter. However, she saw that her granddaughter was asleep in the arms of her son and maybe future daughter-in-law. Swan had been watching Kurenai the last few months, and she knew that Kurenai was the right one for Naruto. She only hoped that Naruto would ask Kurenai to marry him. Little did she know, but Naruto had been thinking on just that very topic. He had a plan which was odd for him, since he did not make many plans. It was a part of his upbringing. If he planned anything, it was often stopped and or would cause him a lot of trouble. So he never made plans except pranks. Now he had a plan, a good plan. He wanted everything to be perfect or as close to perfect as possible, so he was waiting. It would take a couple more months before he was ready to ask Kurenai to marry him. The next morning Crystal woke up and like Amber, she started to cry happy tears that she had a home and her nightmare was over. Naruto made food and had everyone ate it. San did a checkup on her granddaughter. After she was done the girls went to play. Naruto said, "Okay, what is it? I know that face." Swan said, "She is in bad shape right now, Naruto. A lot of her bones have been broken. She has many cuts on her and she is very malnourished. I am not sure how she is doing mentally." Kurenai hugged him and said, "She is not worth it. She wants you to attack her. If you do, your daughters will lose their daddy and that will devastate them. It will also devastate me if you are taken away." This action prevented Naruto from rushing off and killing Hinata. San said, "When I get home I will give Crystal some medicine that will help her get better. I suggest speaking with Ino since you trust her." Midnight went to get Ino and the young lady gladly came. Crystal said, "If daddy trusts you then so do I." So Ino entered her mind and saw the memories. She then helped Crystal with them. It was easy to do since Crystal was so young. She then left the little girl's mind and then transferred all of the memories to Naruto. After the girls went to play more, Ino said, "So I am glad to see the relationship is working out so well." Both smiled at that. Ino said, "Naruto, if you don't want to answer it is okay, but I need to know why you have been avoiding many of us. You have not been doing it to my team but the others, you have even your own teammates." Naruto said, "I don't trust them, it is simple as that. I rather not go into details, but you are smart, you can figure it out." Ino said, "Okay, now I have thought of how you can pay me back." Naruto said, "Okay, whatever you want I will give you for helping my daughters." Ino said, "If you get married I want to do the flowers." Naruto said, "I was planning on it anyway." "You are the best in the village," added sister. She seemed shocked at this name. Naruto smiled and said, "My daughters called you auntie, it makes sense." Ino hugged her brother and said, "Okay then brother, I will see you soon. You should come to the meetings. The next one is tomorrow." She is not even welcome to them. Kurenai agreed that Naruto should go, so she said, "Please, I think you should go. It will be good for you." So Naruto agreed to go and he was given the time and place. Ino left and Naruto and the others played and had some takeout and went to bed. Naruto was today doing something he had not done yet, or at least since getting a girlfriend and adopting his daughters. He was going to spend the day without his daughters or girlfriend. He felt uneasy about it, but Kurenai convinced him that it was a good idea to do it. She also threatened to not kiss him for a week unless he went to see his friends. She agreed that they needed to earn trust, but she also pointed out that it never would be earned unless efforts were made or chances given. Naruto left his house. He did not want to leave since Crystal was still getting used to living with him, but he had promised he would go. He left early to make a stop. He went to the memorial stone in the middle of training ground 7. He got down and prayed in front of it. He said, "Niji, I was able to keep the promise I made. I was able to have the caged bird's seal removed. I am sorry, I know you had hoped I would have married your cousin." He took a pause and said, Truthfully, I wanted that as well. However, you know that it did not work out. I have found someone and I love her with all my heart. He took another pause before saying. I am sorry I was not able to remove the seal from you when you were alive. The seal is gone now and I will see to it personally that it never comes back again. Since I am sure you know now I am immortal, this is a promise of many lifetimes. A soft breeze blew through the area and Naruto got the message from Neji. It was a simple thank you. Neji was never one to beat around the bush or have complex emotions. Naruto and Midnight went to meet with his comrades. He found them all at a local restaurant. He put on his fake smile and went to meet them. It was odd since he had been using a real smile for so long it felt off to use a fake smile, but many of the people here he did not trust. One he sorta trusted, but Kurenai did not, so that was enough for him not to trust this person. Only one he really trusted without a doubt. That was Ino. He called her his sister last night and he does not call anyone that lightly. Shizune calls his sister and like Ino, he does not call her that lightly. He means that he fully trusts and respects them. The other was Anko. He also liked the people at his ramen stand. He never doubted their trustworthiness at all. Shizune, Anko, Ino and Am he saw as sisters. He says. Hello everyone, I am sorry I am late. I was speaking with Neji. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Before anyone could answer they hear a shout of daddy and see two little black-haired girls run straight at Naruto. He is of course very happy to see his daughters as he pulls them into a hug. He looks up and sees Kurenai and Rose, along with his former sensei Kakashi and Team 10's former sensei Might Guy. Kurenai said. We thought that we would all get together today. Plus the girls missed their daddy. This caused Naruto to smile brightly. Naruto introduced everyone to Crystal. She showed some nervousness around them. This was to be expected, so Naruto was not as worried. However, she showed something else around Kiba. Kurenai noticed it as well. Her whole body started to shake and she tried to bury herself into Naruto's chest. She then started to cry softly. The fear was rolling off of her. Naruto picked up his girls and made them walk out of the place. Kurenai followed as well. It was Ino that said. What is going on? Naruto said. Crystal is downright terrified of Kiba. You saw last night why. She is acting like he might hurt her. It only proves I was right about him and the others. I am sorry Ino, but you are the only one in this group I trust with my daughters. As of this point I will not spend any time with anyone here unless it has to do with missions. I wanted to give everyone a chance, but it is not going to happen now. Ino said. I did not remember I have a jutsu that allows me to forget what I have seen. I have it stored in a really safe place. I can recall it whenever I need to. I know when I have forgotten something, just not what it is. Kiba said. She does not have to be afraid of me. Naruto said. Kiba, my foxes and myself can smell Hinata on you, no matter how much you try to cover it up. Crystal's reaction to you only confirmed it in my mind. Plus it was seen in her memoirs last night. Hinata has promised to kill my daughters. If you are sleeping with her then that means you are a danger to my daughters and I will not allow you to come near my girls. He took a pause and said. From this day on please do not contact me unless it has to do with a mission. I thought you had more honor than that, Kiba. It seems I was wrong. All she had to do was say she would sleep with you and you jumped on her. I hope it was worth it, for we are no longer friends. I am not trying to say who can sleep with who, but you are dangerous. He took a pause and said. Shino, the next time I see any of your bugs on my daughters, I will make sure you pay for it. If it happens again I will declare war on your clan and I will wipe out your clan. Shino nodded and said. I am sorry, it was the logical thing to do. Naruto said. That is why I don't trust you, Shino. If you were told it was logical to kill my daughters you would. The only one I really trust is Ino and I somewhat trust Sai. If you wanted to kill my daughters you would be honest about it, but I don't think you would. Naruto and Kurenai walked out with the girls, leaving the others stunned. Ino left the meeting as well, but not before saying. Kiba, if you harm my nieces or help her do it, I would pray to Kami that she kills you where you stand. If Naruto gets to you, well, let's just say it will not be pretty. I will help him in case you are wondering. Sakura said. Pig, why are you acting this way? It is Naruto that is being a jerk. Ino said it to counter. Actually, he is not if you think about it. Hinata has promised to harm Amber and Crystal, and she will do whatever it takes to do it and hurt Naruto. Since Kiba was sleeping with her he is a threat. He should be lucky the girls were with him or else Naruto may have ended you, dog boy. Ino said. I am standing by my brother. He called me his sister last night. Kurenai told me that Naruto does not call anyone that lightly. Only 3 other humans have that honor of being called his sister and I will not waste it now. Good day everyone. Sakura said after Ino had left. What did I do to earn his distrust? Everyone including her husband rolled their eyes at this event Sai, which was creepy in so many ways. Guy also did it and it was even creepy since the man did not know how to do things in a non-creepy way. It was Kakashi that said. Sakura, the reason he does not trust you is. He was cut off when Sasuke said. He doesn't trust me and by extension does not trust you. Sakura said. He said that he forgave you. Sasuke said. Yes, but that does not mean he trusts me. Since you are my wife, you are not to be trusted. Your actions proved it. I asked you to cut your hair and you did it. Kakashi said. Look everyone, I do not know what is going to happen. However, I know Hinata will not take anything lying down. She will not let what happened to her at the meeting yesterday stop her. In fact, it may cause more trouble. I said for the first time, not loud but in an inside voice. A time will come when you have to pick a side. I would hope you would pick the right side. Kiba and Shino have already picked their sides. To Naruto right now, there is no turning back for you two. Even if Kiba were to stop seeing Hinata, he would never trust you. Sakura asked, is that why I have been told I am not allowed to do anything medical with Amber unless it is necessary? They hear a voice say. You are correct, Pinky. Looking down, they see a black fox. She says. I am Midnight, the personal summons of Naruto and his sister, if you will. Anyway, my brother asked me to answer questions you guys may have for him. His daughter is scared and he is comforting her, and she is more important. So what questions do you have? By the way, I don't like any of you at all. So I said. I would say he is being a little irrational, but given his history I think he is being perfectly rational. Please let Naruto know that if it comes to battle I will support him 100%. Sai was freed during the war thanks to Naruto, so that meant that Sai would support Naruto 100%. Plus Sai knew that Hinata was in the wrong. It was as simple as that. The other thing was that Naruto was Sai's first friend and his best friend. Shino asked. I understand why you are untrusting of us, but should you not be worried about Kurenai? It is logical after all. Midnight said. For starters, Kurenai has publicly denounced Hinata and has made it clear she wants nothing to do with her former student. Second, I can sense people's emotions towards Naruto and she loves him and would never harm him or his daughters. Now next question please. Joji raised his hand to get attention. Midnight said. Yes, Fatty, you have a question. This caused Joji to get mad and he started to attack. Midnight dodged the punches and then pinned the boy down. She then grew to a much larger size, the size of a horse, and said. I would suggest you stop or I will crush you. You do not like being called fat, do you? She laughed and said. Well, guess what, Fatty? It is true, you are fat. Now imagine what Naruto went through daily with the village. She took a pause before saying. He was called a monster, a demon, a loser, a dead last. Those, by the way, were the nicest names that he was called. Did he get mad? No, he did not. He ignored them and fought to protect this village. Why, I am not sure, but he did it anyway. She then said. Now you can either accept that you are fat or you can be a big baby about it. I don't really care. You are annoying anyway. Every battle you lost was when someone called you fat and you got mad. Build a bridge and get the fuck over it. She then said. So any other questions? Kakashi asked. How does he feel about me? Midnight said. You are not to be trusted. He thinks you are a great ninja but a terrible teacher. He thinks you will kill his daughter. Kakashi said. I was a good teacher. Midnight said. Yes, for duck butt emo and pink haired I like to punch Naruto all the time, not for Naruto. By the way, you are more upset that you were called a terrible teacher and not that you would harm a child. The fox took a pause and said. You taught him tree climbing and wave. Kurenai taught her team the day after their test. Guy taught them 3 days after the test. This was due to them being unable to move after his version of light training. She took a pause before she continued her attack. You taught emo boy many of your jutsus, but taught nothing to Naruto. You taught Pinky how to make medical kits for the exams, yet taught Naruto nothing. Midnight took a pause before saying. For the finals you said, and I quote, Sasuke is going to have a hard time in the exams. I need to train him. You then taught an emo boy who was unstable at the time your personal jutsu, so he would get promoted. It was not until you were ordered did you teach Naruto how to use his element almost 3 years later. She then said. Okay, any other question? Shikamaru said. What have I done that Naruto distrusts me? Midnight said. Oh, it is not him, it is Kurenai. She does not trust you, so he will not trust you. It is as simple as that. To answer your next question, no, I will not tell you why. If she wants to tell you she will, and nothing will make me change my mind. I will not betray her. Midnight looked up as if she was listening to something. She said. Actually, I was just asked to tell you. Kurenai was planning on telling you today, but making sure Crystal is okay is far more important. So the reason she doesn't trust you, Shikamaru, is that you are Asuma's student and you are starting to act like him. Shikamaru said. He is Rose's father. Midnight said. When Kurenai told him she was pregnant, he ordered her to abort Rose and said that if Kurenai gave birth to Rose, he would have nothing to do with his daughter, and as far as he was concerned he had no responsibility at all. She took a pause before saying. Rose was a result of Asuma taking advantage of Kurenai when she was drunk. Instead of helping her get home, he took her home and screwed her. Kurenai loves Rose with all her heart, even if she is Asuma's daughter by blood. She is really happy that Rose has none of his features. She has admitted to me that Naruto would be and is a better father than Asuma ever would be. She took a pause and said. So lazy useless boy, if you come near Rose, Lighting has been told to attack you. By the way, that is Rose's personal guardian, if you will. She is actually hoping to attack you. Sakura asked. Why does he trust Ino? Midnight said. Ino has information about his daughters and she has not told a soul, not even Tsunade, when Ino was ordered to do it. So that has earned trust to him. It is funny that Ino is the one he trusts the most out of all of you, giving the past history. Lee then asked. What about myself and Tenten? Midnight said. Well, besides the fact that the green jumpsuit and the eyebrows are scary and the sunset thing is scary, he sort of trusts you both. He is unsure if you guys blame him for Niji's death. So until he figures it out, he is going to stay away. Midnight turned to Guy and said. As for you, he finds you to be scary beyond any and all reason, but he knows that you would do the right thing in the end, since it is most youthful to do the right thing and unyouthful to do the wrong thing. This caused Guy to cry, which started to worry the fox, and by worry I mean terrify the fox. She said. Okay, I have answered all the questions. Emo boy, I am sure you know why he doesn't trust you, so I am leaving. If you do not know, then you should have your head checked for brain damage. Sakura said. Naruto will have to deal with us when he becomes Hokage. At this, Midnight and Sai started to laugh and laugh really hard. It took a good 10 minutes to get them to stop laughing. Midnight said. Sai, would you like to explain why that was funny, or should I? Sai said. It is most amusing to see you do it. It will give me an idea for my drawings. Midnight said. Have you guys not noticed that many in this village still give Naruto dirty looks? The council tried to block his promotion to Jounin, for crying out loud. They tried to prevent him from getting to his parents' house. Plus the wide-eyed stupid girl will not stand for Naruto being Hokage. He will not be Hokage and he knows that. Yes, he hopes, but deep down he knows the truth. Sakura said. Then who will the council want? Midnight rolled her eyes and said. I think your title as smartest female in this group should go to Ino. It is a duck-butt-haired emo boy that will be Hokage. Just goes to show that being loyal to some is a waste. She started to look to the side again, and then she jumped at Kiba and put her claws to his throat before she said. I hope you are happy. You helped the stupid girl find Amber's birth father, and now he is trying to take her away. Kiba said. She is his daughter, he should have a right to have her back. Midnight grew bigger to the size of a hippo, and with her tail picked up Kiba and said. He beat Amber on a daily basis for over a year. It took Ino and my sister Foxes over 2 months to help her with the trauma, you bastard. She then threw him so hard against the wall of the building that he went right through it and into some trees, knocking them all down. She then repaired the wall with her powers and gave the owner money. The owner said. You have repaired it, no money is needed. Midnight said. You wanted to expand this place, now do it. Now one more thing before I meet up with my brother. A battle is coming. Kiba and Shino are already done in our eyes. The rest of you have to pick a side. Pick wisely, for if we meet on the battlefield we will kill you. We will not kill Kiba or Shino if they choose to not fight on her side, but from this day forward you are dead to us. Still big, she ran off to help her family. During all this, Naruto, Kurenai, Rose, Amber, Crystal and the various foxes were walking home. Crystal was holding on tightly, afraid to let go. Naruto whispered in his daughter's ear. He will not harm you. Forest will protect you if I can't. The group went to the park since it was so nice out. They had lunch that they picked up on the way. Crystal had fallen asleep. Amber and Rose ran off to play to let their friend/sister rest. Kurenai used Naruto's shoulder as a pillow. They heard a voice an hour later said. I am sorry guys to ruin this happy moment. Looking up, they see an Anbu with a cat mask on, knowing that it was Yugao Yuzuki, who happened to be one of Kurenai's best friends and one of the few that threatened Naruto if he hurts Kurenai. However, since Anbu cannot remove their mask when on duty, they could not call her by her name. Amber and Rose called her Auntie Cat even when she was off duty, and Naruto was starting to see her as a sister as well. He was not there yet with her, but he was getting close. Naruto said. You seem nervous, as if you have to tell us some really bad news. Yugao said. I am still freaked out that you can do that, Naruto, but you are right, it is bad, really bad. Hinata has made her move, and Amber's birth father is in Swan's office right now. I am off duty after this. She removed her mask. Amber and Rose, seeing Auntie Cat, ran up to hug her. So Amber heard what was said and she started to cry. Kurenai gently takes Crystal and says. Go and fight for Amber. I will take Crystal and Rose home. She then gently kissed Naruto and hugged Amber. Yugao hugged Amber and Naruto and said. I will help watch out for Kurenai and Rose and Crystal. Now go and show them that messing with you is a bad idea, a very bad idea. The fox teleported them home. Once there, Kurenai locked down the home. Naruto showed her how to do it. She then said, "You are still on duty, aren't you?" It sounded like a question, but it was not. Yugao smiled and said, "Yes, I was ordered to protect you guys. Tsunade asked me to watch her family. She considers you her family." Kurenai asked, "Is that not a misuse of power?" Yugao said, "No, I think it is a wise move. If you or Crystal were hurt then the village might be in danger. So no, it is protecting the village, at least that is what she told me. So tell me about Crystal and if she has met Anko yet." So Kurenai told her friend and informed her that Anko had not met Crystal yet. Crystal was still too scared at this point to meet more people. Naruto had picked up Amber and was holding her close to him. Midnight came running up to them. She was in her large form. Ruby grew to the size of Midnight. They were planning on using scare tactics. On their way over there, the people in the streets got out of their way. To really large foxes was a scary sight in so many ways. They walk into Tsunade's office and they see Tsunade, of course, along with Hinata and a man that has black hair and brown eyes. Amber, seeing him, starts to shake and bury herself in Naruto's chest. Naruto says, "Well, Lady Hinata, I was wondering when you would pull this stunt." The foxes growled at her. Hinata smirked, not caring about the foxes, and said, "Well, this is Amber's father, so she must be given over to him." Naruto smiled back and said, "Normally you would be correct, but there are a few laws I wish to let you know about. Is that not right, Grandma? You see, having a grandmother/mom that is the village leader is very helpful." He took a pause to comfort Amber before saying, "Now the first law is if a child is left at an orphanage for more than 3 months, then the parent must adopt the child back. The law is aimed to help children and families. How it does that I am not sure, but to understand that I would need to look at the history of when the law was written. However, since it does not interest me, I have never gotten around to it." He took a pause before saying, "Amber, the records will say was there for over 7 months, 4 months longer. So her birth father had to adopt her. After that period of 3 months it was open to anyone that wanted to adopt her." He took a pause to pull Amber closer to him and to smirk and say, "That alone would cause him to lose." He took one more pause before saying, "Law number 2, she was adopted by my clan, and if a child is adopted by a clan, the original parent cannot take the child back unless the clan is proving to harm the child or the clan willing gives the child back." He took a pause and said, "Since I am not harming Amber, nor do I have any intention to harm her, and I do not want to give her back, he has no right at all." Tsunade spoke for the first time in this meeting. She said, "Sadly, there is still a chance." Naruto gently put Amber down and the little girl faced her grandmother. Tsunade then told Naruto and Amber's birth father to stand at different sides of her office. Tsunade said, "Amber, you have a choice, you can go with your birth father." She pointed to Amber's birth father, who will remain nameless since he is unimportant. "Or you can stay with your daddy." She pointed to Naruto. Tsunade said, "The choice is yours and yours alone." When Amber was told she could choose, she ran at Naruto and buried her face in his chest and started to cry, begging him to not send her back to her birth father. She said, "I will be a good girl, just don't send me back. I love you, daddy." Her birth father said, "I have messed up really badly if my own daughter is scared of me." He bows before Naruto and says, "Thank you for looking after her. I shall not bother you again." He then bows before Tsunade and says, "Thank you and sorry for wasting your time, Lady Hokage." He walks out and no one in the Leaf Village sees him again. To anyone that is wondering what happened to him, it is simple. He remarried and had 3 kids. He died when he was 75. He lived a happy life but always regretted how he treated his first daughter. Back in the office, Naruto said, "If that is all, I wish to get home." Tsunade said, "No, you two may go." Naruto bowed and said, "Hinata, if you wish to attack me personally, fine, I can accept that. It has been done to me my whole life. I will not do anything since that is what the third trained me to do. That and you are not worth it. However hurt my family hurts my little girls, I will end you. This is my first and only warning to you. I am saying it out of respect for all that you have done for me and have helped me with. Also, I am doing it for Neji since he cares about you." Hinata said, "This is not over, Naruto." Naruto said, "Good day, Hinata, I used to think that your words were the worst thing that had ever happened to me. Now I see it was the best thing in the world. It led me to Amber." Amber had fallen asleep in her daddy's arms. He walked out and went home. He was not hungry, so he did not get food. Crystal had still not woken up, she had not slept much in the last few weeks. Yugao went back to work and the family curled up and went to sleep. Everyone was using Naruto as a pillow. It made Naruto smile. He was worried what Hinata might do, but he would have to make sure everything was perfect to protect his family. He did not want to kill Hinata, but if it came down to her or his daughters or Kurenai, then he would pick her. Meanwhile in Spring Country we find Koyuki and she is sitting in her room and she is sad. Why is she sad you ask? Well she just got a letter from Naruto. The letter was not meant to make her sad, no that was never Naruto's intention. The letter was simply asking if the offer she made of him having a home extended if he married. The Koyuki this meant only one thing to her. It meant that Naruto was going to ask Kurenai to marry him. She was cursing herself now. She had over 7 months to confess to Naruto. She wanted to hire Naruto for a mission for a few months after the war. She then planned on telling him how she felt and would hope and pray he felt the same. When she made the offer to Naruto about being his wife if his relationship to Kurenai did not work out, she knew it may not happen. Actually deep down in her heart she knew it would not happen. She knew that Naruto would marry Kurenai and that hurt her. She did not do the mission since she was scared she was downright terrified. She cheered when she heard what Hinata had said to Naruto. That was another reason she did not do the mission. She felt ashamed of herself for being happy that he was shattered. She started to write the letter back. She wrote. The offer is for you and your family, and that means your wife if you marry or your husband if you want that. Once she was done and it was sent off she could no longer hold it and she started to cry. She heard a voice say. You should not cry my dear. Looking up she sees a tall man with long orange hair and bright red eyes. She is really scared right now. The man sat down and said. I am not here to harm you princess. I am here to talk. If it makes you feel better you can tie my hands together. Koyuki said. You seem familiar like I know you, but I know I don't know you. So who are you? The man smiled and said. You do know me in a way. My name is Kurama and I am the nine-tailed fox. I am the one that was sealed inside of Naruto. Koyuki knew about Naruto and what he used to hold. It was one of the many reasons she fell in love with him. He was able to be so strong and not break under the pressure of all the hatred he had to suffer with. Koyuki asked. What is it that you want with me? Kurama smiled and said. I wish to just talk. The princess of the land of spring nodded that she was listening. Kurama said. You are correct Naruto is planning on asking Kurenai to marry him in the next couple of weeks. As to how I know you are thinking this I have been watching you. Koyuki asked. Does Naruto love her? Kurama said. Yes he does with all his heart. Koyuki said. Okay that is enough for me. Kurama seemed shocked or he pretended to be shocked he was not by the way. He said. I did not think you would give up that quickly. Koyuki said. He is happy and I want him happy even if it breaks my heart to pieces. Kurama said. Well then I have some good news for you. Kami wants Naruto to have more mates. She has not said how many yet. She is keeping that to herself. However she wants you as his second mate. If you do as I say it will happen, but not for close to 2 years. Koyuki asked. Is this a joke? Please tell me it is not a joke. I am okay with sharing with him what I need to do. Also why me? Kurama said. Wow you trust me so quickly why is that? Koyuki said. If you had wanted to kill me or rape me or do anything else bad to me you already would have. I can see in your eyes you are telling me the truth. Kurama smirked and said. I now understand why Kami said you need to be his second mate. You are smart and tough. To be honest my original plan was to have him married to one person. It was down to you and Kurenai. Since he still loved the Leaf Village, Kurenai was the better choice. He tapped her with his tail and Koyuki could feel the energy flowing through her. Kurama said. You can now access chakra. You have the same amount as Kurenai does. It is not as much as Naruto nowhere near as much, but it is a lot. I am going to leave you with these scrolls and you need to learn them. Koyuki said. How can I train and run my country? Kurama smiled and said. The shadow clones. You can have them training and practice and you can run the country. Once the clone dispels you have the memories of what it did. So if your clone does tree climbing for 2 hours and it dispels you have the knowledge of that and you can do it easier. He took a pause before saying. The only problem is that you can't gain any muscle so you are on your own. Also if you dispel too many at once it ends up causing a massive headache. If you follow what I have given you then you will be in good shape. He taught her the shadow clones and she was able to make 2. However she was exhausted and that was plain to see. Kurama said. It will be hard now but you will get better. Kurenai can make 5 but remember she has been training her whole life. I also left you some sword forms. If you have any style of fighting you wish to learn I suggest having your troops teach you. You can pass it off as wanting to better protect yourself. Now I must be off. But the flash of fire the fox demon lord left to go home. Koyuki looked at her clones and each picked up a scroll that was marked as basic. They started to read. It was not going to be easy she knew this, however if it meant she could be Naruto's wife, then she would do it. She briefly wondered if that meant Naruto had feelings for her. However she put that thought to rest. Ami knew what she was doing so the princess was going to trust the goddess. Little did she know how deep his feelings for her ran. Back in the Leaf Village it was the morning after all that had happened. Naruto had to speak to a few people today. He really did not want to do it. Kurenai, who was up but resting on Naruto's chest, said. Just send some shadow clones. Be honest that your daughter's well-being is more important. Naruto said. It seems wrong to do that, but you are right, my girls are more important to me. Kurenai could tell that something else was bugging him. She said. What is troubling you, my fox? She knew it was a lame nickname, but Naruto liked it. Just like calling Rose her flower was also lame, but her daughter liked it so she would keep on doing it. Naruto said. I used to be able to put up with the glares and hatred. When it was aimed at me it was okay. Now it is being aimed at the ones I love and I am not okay with it. I am not sure how much longer I can live in this village anymore. Kurenai said. I understand. I would suggest for now just staying and see what happens. If any move is made against the girls, then leave. You have the laws on your side and you have allies out of the village. One of them will take us in. Naruto said. You would come with me? Kurenai smiled and said. Yes, I love you and I am here to stay. Naruto got up and made some food for his family. He then sent some clones to go and speak with the various people and clans. His first stop was the Inuzuka clan. Now he liked most members of the clan. Tsume was one of his allies and she was always there for him. She never saw him as the fox. She even once helped him play a prank on the council members. Hana was one of Kurenai's best friends. She was the second person that threatened Naruto if he hurt Kurenai. His daughter called her auntie, he was close to calling her his sister. On the way over, Hana ran into him and she said. I am sorry, Naruto, for my former brother's actions. If I had known, then I would have killed him myself. Naruto said. No worries, I am going to speak to your mom now. Hana said. Okay, just to warn you, she is furious at Kiba so he may try and attack you. Can I meet Crystal later? I will cover my marks. Naruto said. That is okay, but you do not have to cover them, and if you want you can go now. Crystal has a small green fox named Forest and she is very protective. She may be weary of you, so just be warned. By the way, I am a clone and the boss is home. His daughters need him home. Hana hugged him and went off. She understood about Naruto staying home and sending a clone out. It was not a cowardly way out like many would think. Naruto at this point only cared about a few people in his life. His daughters were the most important ones in his life, and Hana understood this and respected him for this. She secretly wished that she had gotten Naruto first when she thought, or well, my friend is happy, and that is all that matters. She did wonder if Kurenai would share. To my dear readers, it is up in the air. Hana walked over to Naruto's house and ran into Anko. Anko may act like a crazy snake lady, as Naruto called her often. However, she was not that. Yes, could summon snakes, and yes, she was crazy, but that was only when she was doing her job. When it came to her friends and family, she was a nice person. So it did not shock her to see Crystal hugging Anko, and Anko was whispering softly in the little girl's ear. Hana smiled until she heard someone say. You know it is not nice to spy on us. Hana said. I know, I am just nervous. I don't want to cause any more fear in Crystal. My former brother did enough of that. Naruto said. Stick with me. So Naruto led Hana into the room. Crystal, seeing the lady that had the markings, was scared. Her daddy walked up and picked her up. He said. This is Hana, she is a good friend of mine. She will never harm you. She may look like Kiba, but she is not him. Hana smiled, and Crystal seemed to understand that she was safe as she hugged Hana back. While this was going on, the Naruto clone made it to the Inuzuka clan. He was attacked by Kiba. He shouted. I lost everything thanks to you. He started to attack, but Naruto was faster. He gently kicked him down. He said. I am impressed that you can move after my sister's throw. I suggest you leave me alone. Kiba tried to attack once more, but Naruto once more beat him. Naruto chat with Tsume was funny. Kiba had disobeyed his mother's orders and as a result was cast out of the clan. Naruto went to the other people he needed to visit. He informed Shino's clan that if any bugs were found near him or his family, he would wipe out the clan. He did not mention that he found seals that would destroy the bugs on contact. The Nara clan, he told that there was not a chance of forgiveness unless Kurenai deemed that forgivable. The Ikmichi clan was willing to give them a chance since Choji was not like Asuma. However, he did warn the clan that they were on thin ice, given how close the Nara and the Ikmichi clan were. The Yamanaka clan was Ino's clan, and there was no need to speak to her, since Naruto viewed her as a sister. The Hyuga clan passed by and were ignored. The Uchiha clan told Sasuke that if he wanted Naruto's trust, then he had to prove that he earned it. Sakura was too sad to speak. Her best friend did not trust her enough to care for his daughters, and that stung a lot. After the clone had done its job, it was dispelled, giving Naruto all the memories. He played some more with his girls until it was time for bed. He told a bedtime story. The little ones all told him that he was a better storyteller than Kurenai, even Rose. This caused Anko to laugh and Hana tired not to laugh. Yugao also laughed since it was just too funny. Naruto gently told the girls that Kurenai was a great storyteller, you just had to give her a chance. This earned Naruto points and prevented him from sleeping on the couch. For the next part, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And check out the description box too. Let's see how many likes this video deserves. For now you guys can see this video.